I just totally interrupted you with that.
I love it.
That's great.
Worth it.
Yeah, this is full 42. This is the last show of the third season. If we're doing
Incorrect.
seasons,
Welcome
Incorrect.
to the show, Chris. Thanks
Whatever.
for being part of the full 42 for 3 years.
Why do you let me? See, you said 3 years.
Next week will be the last of the 3 years. It'll
Oh,
be
right.
50. Right.
I'm just forward thinking. That's all. We have special guests, Mike and Tim from Board Game Rundown with us.
Hey.
Didn't get
What's
enough
up,
of them
guys?
a few episodes ago. Had to bring them back on. Lots of fun.
It's a really interesting topic, and I know Mike was pulling his hair out trying to figure out 5 to put on the list, but we're all in the industry. We all have games that we love to play and are looking forward to coming out. So thinking about what's coming out this year, since it's so early in the year and we have all year, this is a good topic to have you guys on and complain about. It'll be fun.
I'm looking forward to. I really hope I've got one that Mike has missed, and Mike's gonna be really mad that he didn't see and mention. And then I will also then be like taking a lot of notes because it'll be like, what? That's coming out? That's coming. Okay. So really, I'm here just to copy all of your homework so that when we do our show, I know what all the good stuff to expect coming out.
That'll be good.
Hey, Kubuki, no game tonight.
There's just no way to get them all. I'm going to miss something. Somebody's going to miss something. I'm like, how did I not get that on my list? Duh. Some of these are stuff I backed on Kickstarter and I've been waiting on. Some of them only popped on my radar when I started doing research for this. I'm like, whoa, how did I not back that type of thing? Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to it. It's always fun to look forward to what games are coming out during the year.
And obviously, this is anticipated. They're slated to come out in 2024. That's not. These aren't the only ones that are coming out in 2024. Anything can happen with, like you remember, a couple years ago, the ship got stuck in the Panama Canal, and anything can happen. So this isn't like they definitely are coming out in 2024, but they are.
Yeah, I mean, Stonemayer just announced a couple weeks ago. So if we had this episode, 2 weeks ago, we wouldn't even know to.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So who knows what's going to be announced and given throughout the year too, and also who knows what's going to be pushed to 2025.
Correct.
That happens sometimes too.
Yeah, true.
So what we're saying is disregard anything we're about to say.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I am pretty confident all of mine are going to come out this year. Things happen.
So confident.
See. Yeah.
You disgust me, Mike.
I think
all lists are arbitrary.
Mine are good. I'm confident in mine.
Yeah.
There's a random fact that just popped up. Working on a Bill and Ted 4 script. I didn't see the third one.
No way.
I enjoyed the third one.
Really? Was it good?
It's very sweet. It's a nice, optimistic movie. If you like Bill and Ted, have a good time.
All right.
That's what I'll say.
I think I wasn't thrilled with the Matrix 4 thing, and because it was Keanu, I unjustly associated.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, no, it's not that. It's not that disappointing.
Paul, almost.
Good.
Huh, cool. We got some announcements and stuff like that. Things you want to talk about, things you want to show off. We got Luca's painting, all that before we even get to our top 5 most exciting games coming in 2024. Asterisk.
No asterisk.
So, what do you got?
Does anybody else have anything before I go? Because I have a few.
No, shoot the moon.
Mike, nothing.
Go for it.
It's just it's me now. Okay, great. All right. So next week, to start off, it'll be episode 150 according to Chris's count, even though he thinks that the year is already over. It'll be the last show of year 3, and we're ending with Scott Aldi from BGG.
Awesome.
Unsure of and I will check throughout the show to see if he gets back to me on a topic. We're letting him pick the topic, the top 5 topic. We will play CDSK because that was the one thing we talked about Good. I like this. This
Very
is
cool.
sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Also, hi Donnie. Good to see you. So yes, next week Aldi will be on for episode 150. To parlay into the next thing, I need to figure out what my next year's thing will be every episode. Luca's painting will continue. I enjoy it. He's cranking them out. It's
Awesome.
ridiculous the amount that he's doing now.
Cool.
He's asking to paint. It's bonkers. So I'm going to continue to do that as a thing, but I don't know what to do as an every episode thing. So I'm looking for
Makeup. I vote makeup.
no makeup.
Clown, you could do crazy stuff. Clown makeup. Nope.
Not okay. So I'm looking for real suggestions from people, not Chris, for what to do. The first year was a different tiki mug, a geeky tiki every Monday. The second year was a different game used hockey sweater. This year was a different painting for Luca. So I'm looking for, I don't know, something like make fun of Chris every Monday. Something that'll be fun for everyone.
You do that anyway. Cosplay.
Just open with a different Aqua song. They've got plenty of albums. You could just. No,
I say Aqua song.
I would need 50, right? Because we skip around Thanksgiving, depending on after Thanksgiving when Christmas and a couple weeks go by.
There's got to be 50 club mixes of Barbie Girl. You could just go right through all of those.
A different club mix of Barbie Girl.
Everybody would stop watching. You'd be off the hook.
Yeah,
probably 10 episodes in, nobody would watch anymore, and you'd be free. You'd have so much free time.
That would be the end. Yeah.
I finally saw that movie, by the way.
I haven't watched it yet. How'd you like it?
I thought it was fascinating.
Yeah. All right.
I thought it was good. It is not what you would expect from a Barbie movie, but that's what everybody has said, right? So
yeah, right. It's Greta Gerwig. You know it's going to be smart, and it's going to kind of have a curveball for you. So
yeah, it's cool.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it eventually.
No.
What? Now I gotta go seek this out.
What?
There we go.
Now we're talking.
We gotta be careful about music on the
talking.
channel, though, right? So I don't know if you could do music like that.
Mike will just disappear for a few minutes while he goes.
You only get like 3 seconds of it or something.
Right.
Makes no sense. Like that's a whole nother thing. But I've seen YouTube channels like Guitar Hero where they're playing the songs out and there's nothing. So.
How about like a different drink that has different fruits and stuff like that on it? You have a different drink every time instead of
different cocktail.
Peanut butter whiskey every time. We all know what
the last couple I've actually been drinking the beer from Bullfinch, not peanut butter whiskey.
Now you're just giving me ideas for our show, Chris.
Well, there you go. That too.
So what you need to do, Mike, is have Bullfinch come up with 50 different beers throughout the course of the year, which then you can use, and you can have a different one each week.
Well, he's a master brewer, and the amount of stuff that he puts out is amazing. Currently, I'm missing one beer from his lineup. This isn't even. I added 3 more to it. These are all the beers he has.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Well, not exactly 50, though. But
there's 3
you got 12,
on there.
13, so 16 beers.
Like
yeah, and there's
really
one
like the art on those
called
cans.
Rickle Pick, which is a dill pickle beer, which I don't like dill pickle. Yep.
I'll try it.
And I can't get the can because I need to have it in order to have the can. So that's going to be maybe on the show I'll have to drink that. Maybe that'll be one of my things.
Is there a hamster on that beer can?
Yeah,
I'll tell you, some of these small microbreweries really put effort into the art, and that really shows on the cans that you were just showing. The art on those cans is wicked.
Oh, they're amazing. So Dave is the brewmaster. His brother Tim did work for 3WS in years past. I know, dill pickle beer. I can't even.
Try it.
He worked on a comic series called Super Fogies, which was like superheroes when they went into their retirement home.
The old, yeah.
So that's how I met the Bullfinch crew, and that's how QsCon Tuesday started at Bullfinch. So his brother is the artist for all the beer. But yeah, there's Giant Space Hamster, and I don't have it here. I have it in the fridge. Miniature Giant Space Hamster, which is a D&D thing. But all the art, it's crazy. And instead of having like an ingredients thing on the can, there's actually lore into it, and it tells you like a little bit of the lore of what's going on in addition to giving you like the ingredients for the beer. They're great. They're just amazing. Maybe I'll do that.
There you go.
All right, so yeah, give me some more ideas for that stuff.
Different toy behind you, thing like that. Huh.
Yeah, I've been doing that here with different stuff every episode, but I mean, I could definitely do a different toy every episode. That'll be a different game. I don't know.
You could have a different game, yeah. Showcase just like a different game right behind you.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
All right, yeah, give ideas and comments if you not watching
Yeah,
this live.
please. Something will stick. All right, so 2 other things. This Friday, there'll be a live This Is the Play episode
Cool.
with our friend Wes Todd.
We like him.
We're both going to be at the same convention this weekend, and we decided we're going to start doing This Is the Play every Friday now. So convention season will either be together at a convention, or if we're off, we'll just take a week off. And if we're separate, we'll just do some remote kind of stuff. So This Is the Play is going to, for 2024, is now going to kick off every Friday, starting this Friday with Mr. Wes Todd, and every Friday moving forward. And then 2 weeks from now, and I've talked about this, I posted it on a couple different things, the Level Up Retreats in Northern Jersey. It's February 2nd to the 4th. And there's a code if you're looking to save a couple bucks. There's a code that we'll put in a chat later on. You can come and hang out with some amazing content creators, some amazing designers, and a bunch of people looking to play games for a weekend. So if you're in and around Northern Jersey or feel like taking a trip, I'll be there. West put me in as the specialist guest, which I'm honored. And I was half kidding. I didn't think he'd do it. But
So, Mike, I was this close to going to that con with West, riding with him. But hold up. It was that or QSCon. I chose QSCon.
Okay. Then you're off the hook.
I knew that if I was the only way I'd bring it up was that knowing what the right answer was. I was like, sorry, West. I had A and B. I had to go with A. It's clearly the right answer. I really wanted to go, but I couldn't trade. You know, it wasn't an even trade. This isn't Indiana Jones with the idol and the bag of sand. You know what I mean? That big boulder was going to come down and just, I was toast. So
you can drive with West to QSCon.
Yeah, that's true.
I was privy to that convo as well, and as much as I wanted to go, I am not only going to QSCon, I'm waiting for the date so that I can request the whole week off. I'm going to be just doing a road trip and hanging out around the Finger Lakes,
camping in Mike's backyard,
leading up to QSCon. Yes, accurate.
That's awesome.
So I'm literally making a vacation of it. So I've driven through upstate New York. I've wanted to go through that area again, and now I'm actually going to do that. So
that's cool. Well, I can give you a couple pointers and like which wineries to hit or what kind of wines you like if you're looking for that. But I'll throw you the dates. I haven't announced it yet. I'm waiting for a couple things to happen, but I'll throw you I know the dates, so I'll throw you the dates and the hotel link and all that stuff.
Sweet.
That's cool. Yeah, getting exciting.
Yeah.
All right. So then other than that, and if anybody has any questions about any of this stuff, just obviously reach out or put in the chat and I'll let you know. This is today's Luca painting. Quite literally today's Luca painting.
Nice.
That also all the ones he's done so far for 2024 have been left-handed. He hasn't switched over to the right. He's done them all left-handed.
Oh, nice. So he's maybe chosen a side.
Maybe.
At the end of the series, we're like, I have something to confess to you. I am not left-handed.
That
Right.
was like an eagle nest on a tree branch up there during a cloudy day.
I'm looking at like an elephant and a tornado.
Yeah, I think this is somebody riding an elephant attacking that dude in blue down there. That's what I think.
Wow.
Somebody's on the bad end of an elephant.
What does everybody else see?
That's serious.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the yellow thing is in my elephant. And
that's the elephant triumphantly. That's like the sound coming out of the elephant as he triumphantly stops. Or the sun.
Is that him trying to do the sun? Maybe.
I
Because
think
it's
so. I
weird
think
to just kind of go a
Yeah.
little bit of yellow, done with that.
Well, then it's kind of like a starbursty kind of looking.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. I'm seeing a landmass,
Ooh.
water, sun is what Dave says.
I can get a little bit of that. Yeah.
like a top-down landmass, like a.
Bar,
I
sun.
mean, I can almost roughly get North America out of that gray blob. Like the thing sticking out is Maine, and
Yeah.
Florida's kind of muffled in the middle, and that's South America in the blue.
Gotcha.
You get a little bit of that.
Oh, well,
I'm
if
with-
the blue is South America, then that would make that part sticking out Florida, and you
Mm.
just have to adjust your perspective.
There you go. All right.
area control
You're
map.
welcome.
Those are the
Yeah.
It's zoomed in on the Florida area. Those are the keys branching off.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
It's
I'm
an
with
elephant
Guy.
wearing a fez.
I didn't see the fez until that. That's pretty.
It's a
funny.
Shriner. Yeah.
Ah, nice.
I'm with Di on the storm over the ocean. I saw the storm clouds raging in, the water coming up,
Nice.
the sun. I don't know what the black thing is. Maybe you're on land looking out, so it's like a branch in your way. Like Mike said, maybe a nest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. Huh.
Our Dexter is right-handed.
Interesting.
The more
Somebody's
you know.
peeking into a geography classroom from an outside window. Hence the tree branch. All right, I'm reaching.
Okay, yeah, no, I see it, but
And
yeah.
land.
So. Hey, Wayne.
I
Hey,
always reach on these. That's what makes it fun.
look beyond the first impression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. The
Nice.
details don't really come in. Like I see this. This looks like a face, maybe a horn and a mouth, and then a claw, like arm thing. But then I see this over here, and this looks like it could be like the inside of an elephant ear.
That's what I see. Yeah. The
Yeah.
inside of an elephant ear. Exactly what I see.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that one, Dave. I set myself up.
Well, there's that.
Nice.
I guess I have an announcement
Do
for
it.
some upcoming programming for Board Game Rundown real quick.
This week, this Wednesday is going to be great.
This Wednesday, Andrew Stiles, we're going to be doing food and beverage pairings with board games. It's not even a top 5. We're just going to kind of throw them out there and then debate and argue their merits, right? And then hopefully, usually we have a very active, kind of like you guys, right? A very active YouTube chat going on. So we'll get into what they suggest, what they think, all kinds of stuff like that. That's going to be super fun. And then in back-to-back weeks, the last show of the month and the first show of February, we're gonna have Seppi Yoon on. And Seppi, we're gonna do a TTS demo of Conquest Princess with the new mini expansion that's coming to Kickstarter soon. And then we are going to do like favorite robots in sci-fi, favorite / most important robots in sci-fi movies, top 10. And Seppi and I probably, like a solid hour of back and forth messaging on what qualifies as a robot and like things we were disqualifying. And I just loved having somebody that like we were going deep in the weeds, like crazy, like
Yeah, like
way
you can't
deep.
count data, right? Things like that.
Well, so data is an Android. We count data. We do not
What?
count cyborgs. So no 7
Oh,
and 9.
well, obviously.
So manufactured and
Android's
programmed
different
are the two criteria that you have to meet: manufactured and programmed. So no Lisa from Weird Science. Like that's how deep we were going. We didn't count Kit, the car.
Oh, they did program her.
They did, but she's a Barbie doll that manifests.
And they manufactured her.
Not really. I don't
With
know. It's
weird
magic. It's magic, dude. It's not science. It's
not.
magic.
Goggles. It's not weird magic.
The bras on the head.
Yeah.
It was movie magic. It's all movie magic. Did you know? I just went back and rewatched it because of Seppi and I's conversation. Robert Downey Jr. is in that movie. I totally forgot he's in that movie. He's one of the bullies.
Really?
Yeah. It's wild. So anyway, Seppi and I had this big back and forth about, does Daryl count?
Interesting.
Very cool. Well,
I'd
there's
like
a
to-
link to your channel in the
Oh, yeah.
description, so
Thank
you
you
guys
for that.
check it out. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I'd like to add to that announcement real fast. Andrew Styles announced that he had a board game get signed. So one of his designs is coming to 25th Century Games called Wine Cellar. It was actually going to be one of my honorable mentions. The only thing I know about this game is that it has Vincent Dutrait art, other than what I've already mentioned. And it is an auction game about building the best wine cellar. So that's all I need to know. That's it.
Mike,
Done.
why are you stepping on potential most anticipated?
Because I don't know if it's going to hit Kickstarter. Are they going to retail it this year?
That's a baloney
I have
excuse.
no idea.
Baloney excuse.
I have no
You're stepping on the
idea.
list.
I just wanted to make sure we had that information.
Well, I'm going to say my list real quick, so I step on everybody else's.
Yeah. Hurry up before Mike ruins everybody else's list. Hurry, just say yours.
Okay, and then my next 10 honorable mentions are. All right, sorry, but anyway, there you go. Front loading that info.
Fun little fact: 3WS also signed a game by Andrew.
Woo!
Awesome.
It's called Wine Smeller, and what you're doing is you're a sommelier, and you.
It's called Mike Rice Ruins Lists. No, that's a joke. Legit, we did sign a game by Andrew. Andrew's games, I've played a bunch of them. He is a really cool designer. I love where he goes with his head and how he designs his game. So 25th's got a good one with Wine Cellar. There's a couple others that he's got out there that once it's announced, you'll want to look up.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm really looking forward to talking to Andrew, and I'm really excited because he messaged me when he could announce Wine Cellar, and then he's like, okay, so when can I come on your show? And I'm like, whenever you want. Like, let's talk about it, man. And it's really nice to be able to be in that position, right? Be like, hey, you've got friends in the industry. They're excited about their stuff, and you can give them a little bit of a platform, and they want to hang out with you and do that. Like, yes, please. Like, what an awesome thing.
And honestly, he was just able to talk about this last week, so I don't know how far along they are in the process. So no idea if it's a 2024 release.
When I first asked him to come on the show, he's like, "Oh, hold on. Like, I want to come on the show, but I need to wait until I can at least announce it a game or two before." So that's what we were waiting for.
It's listed at 25.
Yeah, but
we met him through you, Mike. So
Chad's good. Chad can get things going. He's already got the cover. He's already got Dutrait working on stuff. So that can be an easy adjustment. But it is.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's unclear if it's going to be crowdfunding or straight to retail. So that's kind of, I think, where we are in limbo a little bit.
Right.
So, but 2025 is a very safe. Kabuki Kid, I'm going to have to disagree and say that 16 Candles is the weakest John Hughes movie. Thank you, Chris.
Yep.
You were said it right as I was like, yeah.
All right. So let's talk about this list that we promised here.
Let's go.
All right. So that's some list. So top 5 exciting games coming in 2024. We already talked about the asterisks in the room. In case, it doesn't happen or something, not our fault. But to our best knowledge, right? These are 2024 coming soon kind of stuff. I have I think 4 out of my 5 are things I backed. So I'm just
nice.
It's really just like I'm excited for them already and waiting, and they should be here this year, but Kickstarter is, so or crowdfunding in general. Okay. So that'll be interesting. And then I have one just in case someone steps on something that I'll fill in.
Not that that'll ever happen.
Mike Rice.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Mike.
After we find out it's got 2025 on the BGG entry, we're still throwing me under the bus. But
dude, I saw that. I saw that when I was doing my research. I do that already.
All right. So
for me, this was the easiest list to organize and come up with because 2024 was the thing to put in, right? There was no there wasn't anything predating 2010 or something. It was so easy to come up with the list. I'm like, all right, this is going to be simple. Then there were 19 pages, 100 games on each, right? So that's at least 1,900 games that have already been announced for 2024.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, I don't even know where to start. So do you organize rank? Do you organize alphabetical? I had no. I was so looking forward to an easy list. And then it was like, nope, this is one of the hardest ones I've had to do.
Also,
narrowing it down to 5 is the hardest part.
There's a clear. There were a couple clear ones I knew I was going to talk about, and then starting to look at some of the other ones that were listed. Was like, well, that one's creeping in like that. All right, now I'm thinking about this one. Oh, now what about that one? It got really hard.
Now, of course, being in the industry, some of us have games that we've worked on coming out in a year. So, I've kept those off of my list just, so you can't be like, oh, of course you put that on your list and stuff.
Yeah.
However, well, actually, I won't even say what they are just in case they pop up in someone else's. But
true.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair,
we'll
Chris, I have no idea which games you've worked on. So if I say one, let me know. Because then I'll be like, oh.
I see one behind Mike that I worked on.
Yeah.
Dwelling.
Uh-huh. Yep.
That's cool.
Man,
I almost
only
played
there was
that
a follow-up
today.
to that coming out this year. Weird.
I almost played Dwellings today. I took it out, started setting it up, and then looked and I was like, oh crap, it's like 2 hours before the show. I can't do this. And I started putting it back in.
And then by the time you were done putting it back, it was time to start the show.
Right.
It was very
Pretty fast setup.
Wow.
Hey, Evan.
How about?
I know. What day is it?
That's a
Who
great
knows?
question.
Yeah.
Schlubs.
All right, so
Yeah.
we'll save extra like little nods till the end, just in case they step on. We'll
And
just
honorable mentions and all that, so they don't get stepped on.
start. Okay.
All right, so let's start with number 5. And who wants to go first? You went first last time, Mike. You want to grab one of these guys to go first?
Yeah. Why don't we start with Tim?
Okay.
Tim.
We ready? Number 5. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. My number 5 is one that I'm really excited. I'm sure it's going to come to. Shoot, I'm not sure if it's actually coming to Kickstarter. If it's actually coming out because it's a CMON game. It's probably going to Kickstarter. So I'm going to eliminate it real quick because I just thought of that. So I'll talk about one that we covered and I thought was awesome. And it is filling this year. It's a Kickstarter and it is called Quests and Cannons: The Risen Islands. This is designed by Eric Geller. I believe his wife, who now I'm forgetting her name, she, I believe, helped a lot with the art. This is a 2 to 6 player game. You can play 2v2v2, which we did. It was awesome. This game, you fully upgrade and customize your pirate ships as you are sailing around and uncovering things on the tiles. You're delivering things to ports. You're attacking other ships. This game is really cool. It's got like dual layered player board, which then you can add cannons to your ship, which will give you more firepower. You can unfurl your sails, which will give you more movement, and things like that. Just really cool, really vibrant art, a really unique game style. And we played this, gosh, probably 2 years ago for the show. We got to do like a Kickstarter preview video for it. And we've kind of been obsessed with it ever since. It was one of those where you're really sad you have to send along the prototype because the prototype looked really good anyways. And I know that they've even improved since then. But this is currently almost done with manufacturing. And, barring a ship getting stuck in the Panama Canal, will be delivered to people's homes this year. But so keep this on your radar, Quests and Cannons, if you didn't already know about it. Really cool game. This was before Mr. Rice joined the show, I believe. So I don't think he knows that much about it, or hasn't, at least didn't get the experience we did with it. But man, this game was super, super cool. And we just really like customizable player boards, where everybody can, it's asymmetrical in that way. You build up your own strategy. And then it looked great to boot. I couldn't think of anything that played like it. So, I mean, it stands out.
And this was a Kickstarter?
Correct. It's a Kickstarter that will be filling this year. And then I assume we'll be hitting they're going to sell it either, online, via their website, or if somebody, it's an independently published game. So I don't think anybody signed it or anything.
Well, it looks fun. I surprised I missed it. I usually look at things like this.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Fireboard.
Yeah, the player boards are awesome, dude. They look like your pirate ship, and you got. There might be a cannibal thing on here, or you might have to wait till Wednesday. We'll see.
Oh God, you're gonna drink pair a cannibal game? That's gonna be sick.
Well,
Literally.
it is food and beverages.
Bloody Mary?
Right, yeah, Bloody Mary, right?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Baby back? No, okay, that's going to get dark. All right, next. Mike?
You want me next? All right.
Yeah, we'll run down
Okay.
the list.
All right. So my number 5 is Dead Cells, the roguelite board game. Which
Mike, this was the one I thought you didn't know about.
This is the one that didn't even hit my radar until I started researching. So first I'm going to talk about Slay the Spire, because Slay the Spire, I think, is the most popular roguelite game people know, which is essentially a deck building game where you're playing solo against an AI. It's kind of turn-based. And very popular. Probably don't need me to explain it, but you just get as far as you can and build your deck as you go. But it brought 3.9 million on Kickstarter, by the way. This one brought a measly 1.4 million Canadian, which last I checked is still at least $1 million US. I like the art better here. Antoine Bauza is on this, and this is Scorpion Mask. That's why I'm more excited about this than I am Slay the Spire.
It is the design team of Sky Team.
Correct. So, with Antoine Bauza's name also in there, Sky Team was my favorite release from 2023. I cannot get enough of it. It was the only game I went to Gen Con and said, that's what I'm buying, and whatever else I get, fine. If you're not paying attention to Scorpion Mask and Hachette, I don't know what to tell you, because the last 2 Gen Cons, they've sold out of 3 games. This one could be another one. And I think this might actually be the year where like video game adaptations turned into board games aren't going to be a thing to be afraid of. I think this looks awesome. I think the Slay the Spire game looks awesome because it's based on a deck building video game. How do you mess that up?
Quit talking about 2 games in the same time, Mike.
Yeah, what the hell?
There you go. 2 roguelite.
Mike, you're doing terrible, sir.
All right, so there you go. My number 5 is Dead Cells.
So you've named 3 games so far in this show, and you're really only supposed to talk about 1.
And Chris says I cheat the rules. Holy shit!
Wait. So Dead Cells.
I have a question.
Yes.
With all of that said, how the fuck is this your number 5?
Yeah, how excited!
Sky Team was your best of last year. This is from them and Bauza. It's a beauty. You said that you like the art better than this thing, and that. How is this? I can't even imagine what's coming.
It didn't hit my radar until yesterday, and I didn't start playing roguelike games until just a couple months ago.
I still don't know what roguelike games are.
I've also never played the video game,
but I've played the crap out of Slay the Spire.
That's a roguelite, Tim. So build your deck, get as far as you can, die, rinse, repeat.
Okay.
Dead Cells, same thing. The video game is actually a side scroller, which doesn't interest me that much, quite frankly. If I want to play a side scroller, I'd pick up a Nintendo.
Playing Castlevania.
I heard this game is phenomenal, though. And that art style I freaking love. So yeah, it's only because, Mike, it hit my radar yesterday. It hasn't had time to build up for me. There you go.
Okay.
Which is why he needed to talk about another game while he talked about this one, just to make sure everybody's lists are ruined before anybody else can say any other games.
I'm just going to start naming the games that are in the list of 2024, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Also,
sentence. Just use them as names in a sentence.
Yeah.
Also, it's Rogue, Rogue, not Rouge. That's red in French. It's also
Rouge.
Correct. It's also a cosmetic. So public service announcement. You're welcome.
I'm just confused on why you felt you needed to add that, but thank you.
Because I see that misspelling constantly.
Okay.
Oh, is it red like? Anyway.
It's red light, yeah.
That's a different thing.
All right.
All right. Less cheaty, Mike. Your turn.
Yeah, I feel really good of my list and not cheating this show. I could basically do whatever the fuck I want, and it won't be as bad as 3 games in one number 5.
Don't tempt it.
I mean, I could.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, how do I have 3?
Because Wine Cellar, you got to Wine Cellar before you even hit your number
Just
5.
because he was our guest. Doesn't count.
Okay. I'm going to start with Star Wars Unlimited.
Star Wars. What?
So, I love all things Star Wars.
Star Wars what?
Unlimited.
Oh, okay.
I love all things Star Wars. I love that this is going to have an amalgamation of the comics and the movies and all the things. But I also, it looks horrific. Like it doesn't look good.
Oh,
right. Like if you look into some of that, like that looks, it just, I don't know.
that's a weird art choice.
I like it in certain characters, like Tarkin looked like ass. What is that?
That's Tarkin. That's terrible.
Yeah.
So,
I do at least applaud him for doing it instead of just taking pictures from the movie. Right.
100%. I think that's it would definitely be better than having stills well, you couldn't, right? Because if you're doing movies and comics and like, you just can't. So they have to have one style, which Star Wars, the Dark Side Rising did, right? They had to live within a certain thing that could actually exist within the characters.
Mm-hmm.
But they did an art style that bridged Ahsoka with other characters that she may have never seen. But I really, really want this to be good. But looking at it, I get this like defunct CCG thing going on, and I don't know. I'm highly anticipating it, but I'm cautiously optimistic that it could actually really suck.
That's as much as they'll let me zoom in on the art. They don't want to show it close up.
Yeah, that's a really weird choice. I don't understand who's publishing this.
It's Fantasy Flight.
Yeah, Fantasy Flight,
I'm
which is strange.
dumbfounded by because they did Star Wars the deck building game. Why didn't they use the same artist for that? The art looks great in that game.
Yep.
The art's great. There's not one bad card in that game.
I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if they have to crank it out because they're going to lose the license, or I don't know what the inner workings of something like this does to a company. I like that. Like, I like what that looks like. If that was like a graphic novel or a comic or the front of a novel or something like that, I like the art style. But then you take the art style and you put that with the bordered cards with the red and green, which I can only assume is attack and defense, or red and blue, whatever it is. It just looks like a very odd...
Vader's arms look too short, and on the cover picture, his helmet looks too much like Dark Helmet from Spaceballs. It's too big. The proportions are all wrong.
Well, I mean, that's an act. You can tell they stopped a frame and then drew what they saw, because I mean, both of these are from the same.
Yeah, they're both from Empire, right?
Yeah. The proportions may actually be correct, because if you do really look at Darth Vader, he looks bulky and weird and stuff, especially in the first few movies. So,
does he have an elbow?
Does he have
it's
what?
under the cape? It's under the cape.
No, it goes right to his shoulder. It goes.
Yes.
It's part of the surgery.
Yeah. Like the art budget, the Empire was short on funding, and when they got to that, so it just goes right.
I'd like to go ahead and thank Dave Rossi for having my back.
I am it is high on my anticipated list. It really is. But looking at when I got into it and I started looking at the cards, I'm like, I really want this to be good, but I don't know anymore. So
I am so excited for this to suck.
I'm not excited for it to suck. I don't want it to suck. I want it to be really good. I'm just really nervous.
Whee. Yeah, I saw this. Of course, Star Wars pops up. You're going to click on it and look at it. But unlike you, I have no hope. There's a lot of bad Star Wars games. A chunk of them come from Fantasy Flight, and that's fine. Other people like them. Yeah, bad is meaning like not for me.
Right.
And this looks very much like one of those as well. So I passed it right up.
What's one you don't like, Chris? I'm just curious because there's like, do you like Rebellion? Do you like the deck building game? Do you like
Rebellion's really good? A deck building game? No, not really. I have both. I have both the very first one they tried and the one after that. I don't think the deck building genre where you battle each other is for me, really. So,
okay, fair, totally fair.
Yeah. So stuff like that. But I mean, the best Star Wars game is Outer Rim, and I need more of that. I don't know why they're not making more of that.
That's one of my least favorites. I'd rather play Xia Legend of a Drift System. Rebellion is my favorite Star Wars game.
I mean, both are sandbox, and Rebellion I get. Yeah, totally understand. That's probably the
a lot of people like Outer Rim.
Yeah, but then there's this.
Yeah, everything we just talked about has a million times better artwork.
And maybe the gameplay is great. With the deck building game they just did, with the CCG they redid, why this? I don't know. Maybe it's doing something different. I don't know much about it. So it's on my radar. I'm anticipating it. I don't anticipate anticipating it sucking. Anticipate it sucking?
Maybe there's a bet, and like they have a bet in house that's like, look, we can slap any art on this, and we're gonna make $1 million week one. You watch. And like, no, people are gonna buy it if the art's bad. Okay, let's bet.
Well, there, like you said, there's a few pieces in there that do look good. So
I mean, the X-Wing looks cool.
Started with those, and for whatever reason, they're showing the not as great ones on some of these. But
yeah, Tarkin looks awful. Like, I would not know that was Tarkin.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Tarkin. But anyway, so yeah, I didn't mean to like step all over your number 5 there, but there it is.
No, I did it on purpose. Like I was hoping maybe some people knew something more because it looks atrocious, but I do really anticipate it. Like it's on my list of like when it comes out, I wanna get it. But looking at it was like, oh, do I?
Yeah. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see more pictures come out, like to show the different art and stuff.
Sure.
Cool. All right. Well, my number 5, definitely not Star Wars, obviously. Forgot Star Wars Duels is really good too.
Oh, I haven't played that one. Yeah, older one, right?
Yeah. Kind of Unmatched was based off of it.
Yeah, the Jedi Duels.
Yeah. So my number 5 is Skyrise. This was a Kickstarter, and I believe it's supposed to be coming down. And I got to admit, I'm just enamored by this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God. Like I read how to play and stuff, and that how to play seems interesting. There's bidding for areas. There's secret tokens you get, and you got stuff underneath them, and points and things like that. But I mean, the artwork, the graphic design, I hope the game is at least like replayable a few times because I love the look of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, look at that board. This is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's Roxley. Roxley nailed it with Santorini.
Oh,
that lift to the board was great.
Yeah, and I've made a few building models and stuff like that for games before too. So I'm blown away by this. I'm like, oh man, I should have done this. And anytime you see someone doing stuff even better than you've done before, you're like, okay, I got to see what that is. Keep up with it. So yeah, that stuff looks gorgeous. The gameplay looked fun. It was a easy buy for me getting into it. So I can't wait for that to show up.
Yeah, the table presence on this one is insane. I like how they made a mechanic a functional part of the game because you can see the skyscrapers there have the bids on the bottom. So you place your building out upside down so everybody can see your bid. And then if you end up winning it, you flip your building over so that's right side up. Just super smart. And the taller ones are supposed to be your higher bids too. I just felt like that was a really cool idea.
Look at this. I mean, just look at the detail and stuff. That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous work.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
And that's a piece, right? That's not a render. That's a piece.
Yeah. That's what they're looking like. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the artwork. I love the artwork. I think
It's supposed to
Jackie?
fulfill really soon.
Oh, Andrew
too.
Bosley. Yeah.
Bosley is one of my favorite artists. This is a really good question, and I think it goes for all games. The artwork can turn me off from a game, but if the game is good enough, I think the artwork can be looked past. It depends on the artwork. Like,
I think the artwork can delay my playing of a game for a very long time. And then there are games that I love despite the artwork.
Right.
But it's really got to sing, at that point.
Yeah, I don't think bad art, to jump on that, I don't think bad artwork stops me from enjoying a game, but it does stop me from buying and or participating.
Yeah, exactly.
If that Star Wars game comes out and it's just bonkers good, like I'll look past Tarkin looking like a doof.
Right.
That's fine.
Right.
But
We'll make a joke about it every time you play him, but that'll be all right. Like here's Grand Moff Blarkin because it doesn't look like Tarkin. So
yeah.
Oh, BioShock Battle for Columbia.
Oh
That's
yeah.
what it was. Yeah, you can play like 2v2 in that one.
But yeah, so
Great.
that's
pick.
my first one. Starting off with Andrew Bosley art. I think most of mine have amazing art, actually. Yeah, it's all good. So.
I know nothing of that game. That was a great pick. It's on my radar now.
Awesome. Cool. All right. That means we're going back to Tim and we're going to our number 4.
Do it.
Okay, so screw it. I'm going to do what I was going to do is number 5.
Is this where you name 5 games?
Yep, exactly
Okay.
right. This one is an Emerson Matsuuchi game from Simon. I am an old school gamer from way back. Mike, are we going to have crossover? You're making a face.
We might.
Are you going to hide in a cardboard box to sneak past me?
And an exclamation point comes over my head.
Yeah, man. The Metal Gear Solid board game that's coming out, which is based on the 1997 game for PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
Not only does that box art just absolutely look incredible, this was a PlayStation game that I was obsessed with. I want to know how when you fight the psychic guy and you have to plug your controller into the second player port to beat him because he can predict all of your moves unless you do that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many cool things about this game. This game was so cool. I really am excited to see how they adapt this and update it. I mean, Emerson Matsuuchi is an incredible designer anyways, even though I really don't like one of his most popular games, which is Foundations of Rome. But I love so many of his other games, Spectre Ops, Halloween. Can you do Century?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, just he is capable of like such a broad spectrum of designs, right? You can't even pigeonhole him into like, oh, he just does this one thing. And with Simon behind him, the components are going to look great. So I am just really excited for this freaking game. I think it looks awesome, and I can't wait to see how they do it. I'm assuming that it's going to be an AI, right? Like you versus the AI running the thing, and that's very cool to hear that Emerson's a nice dude. I'd love to meet him someday.
He for the first QSCon in 2019, he came up for a day. I think he lives in, I don't know where he lives now. But he came up for just one day. He left early on Saturday, spent the whole day Saturday, did a panel Saturday night, and then went home, got a chance to talk to him. He is a stellar human, really unbelievable when it comes to game design. And I'm so happy, although it's Simon, I'm so happy this game got picked up because it was with IDW right at the end of IDW.
Yes. And this was one of those that I was really sad when IDW went defunct. That's like, oh, we're going to lose this one and it's not going to happen, but it could have been so cool. Cause I think that was like 3 years ago. I think we were talking about this game.
That was 19.
Yeah.
2019. Cause Batman came out in 18. And then the following year they had this signed in 19 and then they were done.
So that was the first year of us doing board game rundown was 2019. And we were very excited about this. And then IDW goes, and it's like, no, what's happening?
I'm so happy this got picked up, and credit to they're going to do a good job with the game. They're going to give it all the little fancy bells and whistles. It's gonna do well. I'm super stoked that this game got picked up because it would have been a shame to not see it.
Yeah, agreed.
Does the map right here, does that look like, I never played the game, so does the map look like it did in the game and all that?
A little bit, yeah.
It's got the hues and tones. It's got the little exclamation point, like the danger thing. It's got a lot of nostalgia in it.
And I bet those, you can see in those intersections, they're sort of like the arrows going in a circle. And I bet you the guards hit that and they turn around and go the other way. I bet you that's part of the programming in the design. Yeah. Because, well, he designs very intuitive games. I feel like every game of his I've played, you're like, oh yeah, everything works exactly the way you think it should. And they're all very easy to grasp. And usually the iconography is pretty solid, right? And that's just looking at those little screenshots, I'm just guessing that this game will not be very hard to learn how to play, and you'll be able to get right into it.
It's going to be good. It's definitely going to be good. Good pick. Really
yeah,
good
man.
pick.
It's good. Now I'm going to talk about 7 other games real quick. So
2024, it's the year where video game board games are all going to be good. Or a lot of them are going to be good.
Yeah, not all. That's too much of a blanket sweep. A lot of them are going to suck.
Mike, when you said that, that's when I decided to double down on going with Metal Gear Solid. When you said that, I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm going to talk about it. So
there's even more. I'm not going to mention them, though.
Thank you.
Well, you can mention one now if you want.
So back to me. I remember how this works. If there's crossover, you come up with another one. My number 4 was Skyrise. I also backed that, Chris. I cannot wait for that game.
Nice.
So I'm going to beat Mike to this one, even though I don't know if it'll technically come out this year. BGG has it listed as 2024. It's from his old buddy Richard Lanius. They are redoing Defenders of the Realm. Legends Retold. And you can make fun of me if you want. I played it for the first time last year, but I loved it. I freaking loved it. And I don't have a copy because it's an old game now.
You played Defenders of the Realm last year for the first time?
Correct.
Okay.
So I'm pumped to see a new version with new art.
I love Defenders of the Realm. That Defenders of the Realm destroyed Pandemic for me.
Yep.
Same. Yeah. I would definitely much rather play this. You won't see anybody going, yeah, when someone clears 3 cubes out of a city.
Right.
No, this what they're doing with this new edition, it looks amazing, and it deserves it because it's a great game.
Yeah.
I've never played it. Looks good.
They also have I gravitate towards Defenders of the Realm just because of the fantasy theme and everything, but he also did Defenders of the Last Stand.
Also own it.
Right, which is more Western, right?
It's like Mad Maxy, post-apocalyptic. Yeah.
So there's that as well. If you haven't tried that one's also worth giving a go.
Yeah, there's less stuff to run around and try to buy for Defenders of the Last Stand than there is Defenders of the Realm if you're a completionist.
I mean, this game looks
like a small world.
No.
It does, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying with the map, but yeah.
It holds up extremely well. I think the original was 2011 or 2010. I had a blast playing it. It's just a really fun co-op game. So
Googs, not sure if you've heard of Richard Lanius, but that's a dude you might get along with if you ever get a chance to meet him.
Really? I'll look him up.
You should. Yeah.
Did I tell you the Christmas story?
No.
So Christmas morning, Luca's opening some gifts, and he grabs one. He's starting to open it. My phone goes off. I'm not paying attention. He opened up a little stuffed Cthulhu, little green, little wings, just a little thing. He's giving it a hug. And I look at the phone, and it was Lanius wishing a Merry Christmas. And it's a little weird that Luca's opening up a Cthulhu and Richard's sending a text right at the same moment. And I'm like, this isn't even funny. Like, how do you? Yeah. It was really.
It's real easy if you just watch the camera and know when to do it.
That's true.
Yeah. I didn't give him the code for that though.
What a sweetheart of a guy to text you on Christmas though and say, "Hey, Merry Christmas." You don't have to do that, right? People don't have to do that. That's very nice.
I've talked about it on your show. I talk about it a lot. The board game industry, the people in it, like I'm very lucky to call some of these people friends of mine, and they're just genuine humans. Like Emerson is just a genuine human being. Richard's amazing. It's a great industry.
Yeah, it can be. It really can be.
Nice.
Genuinely excited to get a copy of this game in my collection.
Yeah, I can't wait. It does say 2024. I hope it comes out. They had it at PAX, didn't they? Or was it Gen Con? They were showing it off at
and it's Greater Than Games is publishing this, so I don't know if it's going to hit Kickstarter or not. I would assume so. So it may not come out this year. If I haven't heard any chatter about a Kickstarter yet, then yeah, probably not likely it'll actually fulfill this year, but
I'll find out.
I had to make a an edit when Skyrise popped up. So
it's a great pivot. It's a great game.
All right, Lesser Mike.
All right, thanks for that. That was
Well, you're going to give Mike 2 picks in a row.
Well, you don't want me to
weird.
call you Greater Mike, right? Because that would offend our guests. You don't want to do that.
He'll be fine.
I just want to make sure that I'm not included in the great people in this industry that you were just talking about.
No, I wouldn't include you.
Yeah, Chris is up there like.
Yeah. All right, where do I pivot then? I don't know what to do.
Ooh, did I steal it?
Yeah, it was on my list.
So that was your number one.
Oh,
We each might have stolen one of.
It wasn't my number one, but it was on my list. Because remember, my list is not in that sort of order. All right, I'm going to go with Marvel United Multiverse.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I love as it does get shit on for multiple reasons, and I think Marvel United, the base game, is very easy. It's very friendly to new people that are in the game, whether you're trying to get like new people into it that are comic fans or character fans. But then when you start adding in those expansion boxes, right? And my favorite is the Thanos one. The Thanos one comes with 3 of the children, and you have to beat them in succession to stop Thanos from getting the stones. And if you lose to one of the children, he gets that stone. And makes it ramps up with each expansion box. It ramps up the difficulty pretty substantially. The characters are all basic. They all have the same kind of deck with the same kind of punch or move or whatever. And then there's a handful of cards, like 4 or 5 of them, depending on the character, most of the characters, that have like a special ability that lets you do something. And trying to find a combination of like the fun in putting the Fantastic Four together or putting X-Men Red together or whatever. There's a lot of fun and replayability in the game in just the base Unlimited. Then they came out with X-Men, which added a whole bunch of more stuff. And now they have this, which are a lot of deep cuts, a lot of the multiverse-esque things. If you've been watching What If, and I just finished season 2 a couple days ago. Holy crap. I'm really looking forward to this one. I like what they've been doing in each of their boxes of, all right, well, you've done this, now try this. Now add this to it. So it's a bunch of stuff. It's a ton of new minis I'll never get to paint. But I'm really looking forward to this one.
I got to disagree with this. I really like the chibi art.
Yeah, I think the chibi style was sort of a big swing, and I feel like that they actually nailed it for the game. And I appreciated this game. My only issue with this game is Simon did what it normally does with their Kickstarters, where they're like, here's the all-in. And then for $80 more, you can get everything else. And it's like, well, that's not all in.
Yep.
I just hate that crap. But that's not the game's fault. That's the publisher just them. Doing what they do.
That's their selling method. And so, and it works because, you're like, okay, I'm all in. And then you see something, but now we have a Spider-Man thing and all that stuff. And you're like,
fine, 20 more bucks.
Yeah, and then they add more and more and more. And then they go, here's a new level. It's all cheaper than even more all in or whatever. And you're like, fine. Like, it's this constant buy-in. By the time I get it, though, this is a good catch because by the time I get it, I agree with you The first game is, it's okay, but if you go past that, I played the Thanos one too, and that was really fun.
Yep.
I think I broke it a little bit by playing Doctor Strange, though. You can easily beat it, and because he has this ability to take a card out of the deck and put it at the bottom, and so you just remove all the Infinity Stone stuff from Thanos's deck, and then you never see him have a single gem. But I really like the Fantastic Four version. I don't know if you played that one yet.
Yep.
That's fun now because they have a cool team thing going on. Yeah.
I think they had to do a different style because of Crisis Protocol. If they did another mini version of a mini version, they would, like they had the Zombicide one coming out. So I know that's zombies or whatever, but they had to do a different style to distinguish it from just another Marvel mini game. And I really, if it was a Hail Mary pass, they nailed it. I think it did really well.
Well, it's very accessible. Like you said, it's very friendly. It's very accessible. It's a theme that a ton of people just walking through a Target are going to be interested in, and the price point is killer, right? I know Walmart was having those boxes for $20 for the core game. And it's like, that's an awesome price for some cool Marvel minis, and get you into the game. So, and the hardcore gamers typically don't shop for games at Walmart. So you're really accessing like a whole different, level there.
Yeah, good pick.
Yeah, for $20. I mean,
can't wait for mine to show up.
Go into it if you do get the base game, the original or whatever they're going to do with the new one. Go into it knowing it's going to be an easy game because it's an intro level. It's introducing you to the game, the core mechanisms, how the card play works, how you're following the player to your right. And there's differences as the boxes come up, but that's what it's doing. And then when you start getting in, once you, like any game, like once you start learning how things work and you add more stuff to it, it's really approachable for a family or for new gamers. And then it gets really deep and thinky and puzzly when you're trying to, all right, we just got our asses kicked. What if we needed this? What if we used Doctor Strange in this situation or something? You have a bunch of characters you can play with. It's really fun. It's expensive. There's a lot to it though. I really feel it's a great value for everything they threw in there. Better than the Marvel Zombicide with the Galactus.
Big Galactus, yeah.
Like that was way too much money for what was going on for that game. This I can justify. I thought it really had replay value.
It was so cheap they got me to buy 2 versions of the base box because if you bought one, it had Wasp, and if you bought it from Wally World, you had Venom. Vice versa.
Yep.
And I was like, well, I gotta have Venom, or I gotta have Wasp. Okay. But it was so cheap, who cares, right? Yeah.
You gotta catch them all.
Exactly. And I didn't back the Kickstarter, so I just scoop it up as it's cheap.
Right. Or like as a gift, or you really want to paint one, or you want your son to paint one. It doesn't, I don't know.
Also, like no spoilers and stuff, but a lot of the newest Marvel stuff out right now is still relevant with the stuff they've got coming to you. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Which are you guys, as a little aside, have you watched What If season 2?
Only season 1.
I haven't,
but I thought it was awesome.
I've got like 2 more episodes to finish for season 2.
Then Chris, we should do a show next year or next season or whatever on What If season 2 and watch it. It's really
good so far. Yeah,
really I collected the hell out of those comics in the 80s and 90s. Though
they were great. They're so great.
And when Star Wars What If comes on, it's gonna blow me away.
Yep.
All right, so not to get too sidetracked. All right, so my number 4. Let's see, what else of Mike's can I take out? No.
Which Mike? You're not going to get mine. You're not taking any away from me.
No, I'm not. You and I hardly ever cross over.
Yep.
All right, this one, the excitement is still there, even though I've been waiting a little bit longer than I feel like I should have. It was a game I found. In fact, I've been waiting so long that I went back to the page and was like, how do you play this again? So it's Legend Academy.
Oh, that was on my list.
Is it?
No.
Seriously?
Man, he put me. And the Oscar goes to...
I did back this one, though, and I am waiting for it, but it's not on my list.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I love the idea of like there's this, magical academy where you're learning to go into these stories or like Robin Hood and I can't remember all of them, like Wonderland and all the fabled stuff, maybe even Snow White and things like that. But yeah, you can see Alice in Wonderland on the front right there, Robin Hood. Yeah, so I like it whenever I get to go into those fabled things. You get to be a part of that and stuff. So that's fun. And the artwork looks really cool. I wish they had more imagery on here, but the art looks really good. I like the gameplay. There's like the whole thing with the book is your map, and you're moving around on that kind of stuff. That's all of that stuff is fun, and I like the idea of like, ooh, let's play in this storybook this time and that kind of thing. So I've just been waiting so long. I can't remember how long it's been since this, maybe 2 years, 3 years. I'm not sure, but 22 is whenever they have it marked here. So maybe that's when it came out. So I was hoping for it last year, but so the excitement's still there. Is that Paul Bunyan? It might be on the cover.
Yeah, I found this one because of you. I think one of the episodes we did, we were talking about Kickstarters coming up or something we backed or whatever, and I got this from you.
Yeah. Well, I was excited then, and I'm excited now.
Have you played Fearsome Wilderness?
No.
Oh, that's a really weird, dark kind of horror theme game, but you're playing like as Johnny Appleseed. Is it Paul Bunyan? I know there's Babe the Blue Ox. Like, so there's like these weird characters from like, history, like, not history adjacent, right? Fictional characters that are kind of woven in with cultural
They've
history.
Been
sort of
mystified.
Thing. Yeah. And it's just a really bizarre kind of interesting game. But anyways,
what's it called? Fearsome what?
Fearsome Wilderness.
Nice.
It's dark and trippy.
So yeah, that's my number 4. Better come out this year. It's not going to be on any more lists. It might make another list. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
Whoa.
The shit list.
That's right.
Give me my game.
How long? That's the question. How long are you willing to wait? Because I got another one that's longer on here. But
I mean, I've waited 4 or 5 years for a Kickstarter, so.
Well,
I just got Sweet Mess in, and that was quite a long time.
They just said, look at Sweet Mess. Have you played it yet?
I have.
I really like it.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Job with it.
Yeah, it wasn't the game I signed up for, but I'm happy with it.
I think it's better. I think they did a much better job with getting that to actually function as a fun game than it would have been.
And I get the whole thing, like the mat and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yep. Very cool. So that was my number 4. That means we're on to number 3.
Did we just do a Rice and talk about 2 games in one of your things?
No, because it came out last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're safe. You're safe.
Okay.
I like this. We pulled a Rice and we.
As long as I'm credited with something, I'll feel meaningful in this life.
As long as you're a verb.
Right. A real Munson.
You riced it up.
All right. So my number 3 is actually sort of like a 2-parter. It's the same game, but it's 2 things for this game. Have you guys heard of or played Kinfire Delve?
What words are you saying? What?
Kinfire, Kinfire, Kinfire Delve.
There's a group on QSCon in the QSCon community that's been playing the hell out of that game.
Yeah, so there's 2 sets out right now, and there's 2 more coming out in 2024. I've played one of them, and this is by Incredible Dream Studios. And the ones that are coming out, so what this is like you can play. It's a 1 or 2 player game, and you're basically battling through this deck. You have you choose a hero, and you get basically cards specifically for that hero. And then there's a deck, which is, at least in the one I played, it's like this well in which darkness is coming out and corrupting the land.
This is not a game.
Kinfire Delve.
K-I-N. Kinfire.
Yeah, K-I-N. It's in there. All one word?
Yeah, I think so.
It should be.
Oh, you didn't say that. right, go ahead. Sorry.
So, anyways, it's like this well is like spewing out darkness and evil into the world, and you've got these cards around it, and they're different types of cards, and you've got to choose which one. That's one that's coming out this year. Scorn Stockade and Callus's Lab are the ones coming out this year. The art,
Kevin.
The art on these cards is ridiculous. All of these cards look fantastic. The heroes look very cool. The card quality is amazing. Yeah, I played this solo like a couple times and couldn't wait to re-rack and try again. I can't wait because each box comes with 2 characters. You can play with Kabuki got my reference. You can play 2-player if you have one of these boxes. If you've got 2 boxes, you can play 4-player because now you're going to have multiple heroes, and then you can kind of mix and match the heroes if you want, blah, blah, blah. I can't wait to play more of these. I just thought this was awesome. Really enjoyed it. And when I saw more were coming out this year, I'm like, well, that's on my list. I also just love having games that look beautiful, and it's a smaller box. It's a small box game, but it's just absolutely beautiful. Like, this is one that I would be like, hey, you guys got to check out these cards. Have you seen the cards for this game? Yeah, the art's awesome. It really makes you feel like immersed in the universe, right? In this world. So Kinfire Delve, really cool. And I'm glad QSCon folks are playing it. So I'm not the only one.
No, it's also Kevin. Like, I've known about it because of Kevin, but
okay. I don't know Kevin, but
there's people that play it. They love it.
Nice. That looks cool.
And it's challenging, like that's the other thing is I like difficult co-ops or difficult solo games. It's no fun if you just blast through it all by yourself. So
I was looking at the logo too. That is cool with the eye and then the N negative space and yeah.
I like how the eye is breaking the border of the thing too, right? That yellow thin border, and then those floating eyes are kind of coming out from it. It's clever.
Yeah.
Smart.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Rice.
Well, I'm pretty certain my number 3 is going straight to retail. This one's getting published by the Op, and it's Gnome Hollow.
Yeah.
Gnome Holland, designed and painted by Amon Anderson. And just the simple fact that this guy designed this game and did the really cute art for this game is pretty impressive in itself. But I've just heard nothing but great things about this game. It's worker placement on this board, but then you also place a tile, and you are kind of sort of getting to combo actions together based on where you're placing your tiles, doing a little bit of resource management. That's mainly all I really know. I have not played this. I'm pretty confident that it is going to go straight to retail. And I know some people that have played it that really talked it up that I just trust.
Yeah, West and Matthew Ryan from Indie Board Games. Man, those guys kept hyping this game up at Gen Con.
And the Op has published a lot of stuff that we've really had a ton of fun with. And just to see, I've played one of Amon's games. It was called Taco. It's Haunt, Attack, Conquer, Obsess. And it's a sort of mean take that game of like trying to assemble the best taco, but people keep stealing your ingredients.
It was a lot of fun. Coming out in 2024?
No. That one came out in 2020.
Okay.
I like it, Mike. I like it.
I only have to get slapped on the wrist once.
Keep me in check, though.
My number 3 is Gnome Hollow, coming to you from the Op. And that guy, I know he's got another game down the chain coming, Twinkle Twinkle. That's not going to be a 2024 release, but I just know that guy's been pumping out some games that look really fun. Sometimes I don't always want a super deep, long, crunchy experience. I want just light rules that give me difficult decisions, and I think this one will do that.
Yeah, I saw this at Gamma last year. I think I was brought over to it by West, maybe.
Probably.
But yeah, it looks. I mean, obviously it was a prototype, but it looked really cool. It looked approachable. It looks like it's got easy enough to understand mechanisms. I mean, the Op is not going to do something that's going to brain burn its fans, so it shouldn't be too
Right.
heavy.
Yeah, but the op is also really showing you that they're not just themed monopolies anymore either, though. You know what I mean?
Sure.
They,
Yeah, I think they broke that mold a couple of years ago.
yeah, but I mean, they still like they have their fair share of like party games, you know, like Hughes and Q's and Tapple and stuff. And I mean, those are some breadwinners, breadwinners for them. But to start getting some games like this under their belt, they've got some other good ones that they just had out last year. And it's like, okay, yeah, these guys are serious. Like they're really trying to do some stuff. And
well, they got a great team, right? They used to have Ross, who is amazing. Tony, I love. He's another one of those genuine humans that I'll talk about to no end. And they also like in giving Pat Marino the ability to like help with getting these games. It's really it's helped them a lot.
And I liked Sean Fletcher a lot. Like I liked Fletch quite a bit. Yeah, he's moved on to work on Lorcana now, but
the Sorcerer's Arena was a really cool idea.
I love it.
The only misstep, they just had a whole bunch of them on, like all 4 expansions and the base game I picked up for $60 just before the holidays. The only real misstep that I saw in that game were the dials.
The dials are bad.
You had to lift it up, and then you were like, well, wait, was it on 7? Was it on 8? It was like, oh, no. That was the only thing that I can say that was, like, the acrylics were great. The back and front art was great. The way the turn order system went, they really got good games. They're not, if people are still thinking about them as the monopoly company, they're mistaken.
Yeah, for sure.
That's funny.
Okay,
you ever remember Ocean Pacific clothing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And those Disney tactical games, by the way, have a lot more going on than you would expect. They are really tactical miniatures games with the Disney theme on them. They are very much a gamer's game.
Yeah, there's good stuff in there.
They're not as tactical as some tactical games because they limit you to 3 bits of information because you have 3 cards in your hand, right? So that one character is going, so you got to focus on Sully from Monsters, Inc., and then Sully has 3 cards. So I'm either doing this, that, or the other thing, or I think you have a passive action, which is like move or something. So it's got that depth, but it's not as like brain burnery as a typical like skirmish game or tactical game. They did a good job bringing that one out.
Yeah.
But we all digress.
Sure.
All right.
You can digress. I don't digress.
Mike?
3. Oh, I got to pick another one, huh?
You should have picked one before.
Well, I have a few. Still left.
But your third favorite, that's what we're looking for.
No, I'm going to go with Forges of Ravenshire.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
I have to change my number 2.
I waited. Wow. I figured it was on there. Sam is an awesome individual. It's from BA Games. The art is great. The gameplay looks phenomenal. It's Dice Workers, so I'm in. Like the art, the cover got me. He does great stuff, and I'm looking forward to this one. I don't know much about it.
Oh, we played the crap out of this game. It's great.
We've played it a lot.
We've talked about it in person too. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this one. This was more of I just want to steal it from Rice. So, but it was legitimately on my list. I'm not making it up. It's got a lot of the stuff that I look for in, like when you start talking about what game mechanisms there are, or how the game feels, or the art, or the components. It's got all of that stuff in this game. It looks great.
The dice placement feels really good because you're going to place a die and then take stuff, and then pull a different die and take stuff based off where you pulled from. But then the color of the die matters because you're going to use that color during your production phase at the end of the round. And meanwhile, it's contract fulfillment, but ultimately you're like building weapons and armor because you're competing to be the town blacksmith. It's a really cool theme with fantastic art, and it is very satisfying to play when you get your production built up and you're just rolling in resources. It feels really good. It's a lot of fun, and I've played it like 4 times, so I can definitely tell you it's a blast to play.
That whole concept of the dice workers, and Chris, you and I have talked about this years ago. Dice worker placement is something that's not it's not easy to come by, and it's not always done well. But that whole idea of putting it out there and then taking something back is really, like, I think that's what got me for. And then the art, like the cover and the ferret, everything, it just looks great.
Well, the other thing is, like, this is an engine builder that turn one, it feels like your engine is just cranking. You know, a lot of engine building games, it's like your first couple of turns, you're like, well, I guess we're grinding up, we're building to this. You get so many resources so fast. And it also gives you a lot of flexibility in case somebody takes a goal before you can. Like, dang it. Okay, well, I can still try to do this. I've got enough. I can pivot. So it still gives you a lot of really good options, and it just feels really good to play. So, yeah, I really am high on this game as well.
I think the other thing that you mentioned, they did a great job with on this is balancing dice placement games, because there are some games where like twos are the strongest because of this location. And never felt like in this game that one particular number was more powerful than the other. They did a really good job of balancing the high and low numbers. Both give you something very meaningful. And I think they even did the inverse when you pull the die back to your player board. So if a high number of a certain color is bad on the main board, it's good on your player board. And that balance just really sings here.
That's cool.
That's cool.
I like they did something similar with the dice balance in White Castle. If you've played White Castle,
not yet, really, but it makes me hungry every time.
Do not. I know. I got a 24 pack in the freezer.
Hell yeah.
How long does it take to drive out there?
Yeah, right. Anytime, man. Do not play White Castle with 4 players.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
I recently, when I was up at Daryl's, we played White Castle for the first time. Played it at 4 players, and the downtime was just like it was awful. Then we played Red Cathedral, and I adore Red Cathedral, but it helped me realize I don't ever want to play Red Cathedral at 4 players either. Like, it really sings at 2, maybe 3, but 4 players is way too much.
Gotcha.
What they do with the dice, the low dice, picking the dice gives you an extra benefit, and then if you're using dice on the board, the difference either gets you paid or you have to pay to use it. So it does this really interesting balance of the high die, low die thing too. It's not it's worker placement, it's die worker placement, but they balance the low numbers because you roll and you could have, it's a communal, but you could have really bad rolls, but they make it all make sense and mean stuff. So yeah.
Well, Mike, so far, out of all the stuff that's not on my list that's been said, you've had the least exciting for me and the most exciting.
Oh, wow.
Me.
Challenge accepted.
So that was Star Wars Unlimited was the least.
Right.
And
then this one looks amazing. I've never seen this one. I have seen the cover, but I was just like, oh, okay, it's a cover of something and just moved on. Like, I didn't know much about it, but the more all of you are talking about it, I was like, ooh, I got to play this.
Yeah,
it looks super fun, and the people at VA Games are awesome people.
Yeah, Sam is phenomenal.
Oh, Sam and his brother, they gave us our first nickname as a show, which was the board game Rubdown.
Oh, that was from them? That was from
Yeah, that was from them.
Oh, I'll have to thank him for that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, talk about, lovely people in the industry, and we were, we still are, relatively small and everything, but they made us feel like Dice Tower when we met them for the first time in real life. I mean, they just are just awesome. You know what I mean? They just made you feel so good. And like we were not strangers immediately, it was wonderful. So yeah.
Sam's a good dude. I liked hanging out at Origins when we were playing that game for 3.5 hours and then playing Ankh the next night. Like,
Yeah.
All right. So my number 3, at least I'm still very excited for my number 3. It's not a letdown after seeing that. My number 3 is not just because we had Evan on for a guest, but I am genuinely excited for Dark Quarter. This can't come out fast enough for me. I'm a huge fan of the Detective City of Angels game, and so a different kind of look at this 1980s New Orleans stuff. It's cooperative though, which is Not usually my thing, but because I love the style of it and everything so much, I'm still uber excited. So,
You backed it?
what was that?
You backed it?
Yeah, definitely.
Who designed it?
It was Evan, right?
Evan Derrick. Yeah, Dark Moon
Derrick
designer.
from,
Still
Van
one of my
Ryder?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Right.
man, that art design is awesome.
Yeah.
Art's beautiful.
that looks great.
Yeah, very app integrated, very narrative driven, and Evan is a great storyteller.
Yeah, and I'm not against apps, as long as they're done well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
And here's the thing: it's like we were talking about earlier. This is a box that I walk by and I immediately pick up and look at. I know nothing about it, but the design of that box, I'm like, holy smokes, what is this? I must look at it, right? So they already hook you in, and then it just sounds really cool too. So,
well, I can say for like Detective City of Angels, I'm a huge film noir fan, and they captured that theme so well that more than any other game of that genre, that it made me think, like, if I like this theme, which immediately looking at that box, I feel like I'm going to be in that world. Like, I really hope that's how it's going to go and stuff, but, haven't played it, so I don't know for sure, but it's got so much behind it. Everything they do is really good. So,
yeah, I'm putting an exclamation point by that one. That one looks really cool.
I mean, Evan's Final Girl is really taken off, but I still think of him as the Dark Moon guy because I love that game.
Dark Moon. Dark Moon's really good.
One of my favorites.
Dark Moon's really good.
That one quite a bit. Yep.
And I love how self-aware they are with Dark Moon. Like, that's one where like the meta in the rule book, you know what I mean, is incredible. I love it.
That was Stone. What was Bonacor's old company?
Oh, Stronghold.
Stronghold.
That was Stronghold.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Evan's good. You don't know Evan. Evan's a great.
Yeah, I haven't met him, but yeah.
Very underrated. The story. It used to be Battlestar Galactica Express. It was self-published.
Yeah. Right.
Evan had put it up, and then Bonacor caught wind of it, and people were like, "You need to sign this. This game is great." And then they made that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kabuki, I recently tracked it down. The Shadow Corporation expansion for that is amazing. So good.
Yeah, cool. Such a great game.
So that's my number 3, Dark Moon. Dark Quarter. Dark Moon. So
I didn't know anything about this one. Good pick.
Yeah. All right. So our number 2, Tim. What's your number 2?
Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, so my number 2 is Arcane Wonders game, and it is Comic Hunters. I want to know what this is going to look like in the United States. I have the Brazilian edition, right? Because it's got all that badass OG Marvel comic art. Supposedly, right? The rumor is that the Arcane Wonders version is going to have the art, right? It's going to have the Marvel comic art. I thought that the people that did Sentinels of the Multiverse, like, very easily could have signed this and adapted this to their art style, right? They've already got a plethora of pinatas. No, they got a plethora of comic book covers that they could have already used and and adapted and everything. Plethora? What is a plethora? I love that movie. But anyways, Comic Hunters is really a really cool, and I don't even have words to describe it, because the different ways that you can do the set collection in this, and you go through 3 different types of set collection, yet there's 4 total types of set collection, but through the different days, you're going to do a different combination of the 3. And then the way you have to sell comics out of your collection to then build your comics in your collection is really fun, create some interesting decisions. And because they go right back into that deck, you might see them again by the last round, some of the ones you got rid of before. And it's just so cool to be like, all right, well, I guess I'm collecting Doctor Strange this game, and you're just trying to get these. And again, as an old man who used to collect comic books back in the 80s and 90s, there's so many comic book covers. And I'm like, sweet. I had this one. It makes me cry because I know I had this one and it's worth a ton of money. And I don't know. It's gone now. Who knows where it's at?
I get to play this and go, I still have this one. one.
I hate you. I hate you so much. But yeah, this game was really good. This game is really good. My sister got it for me for Christmas a year ago because I didn't want I was like, oh, I could buy it on eBay, and then it just showed up. She had even 3D printed, color coded boxes for like the different ages of comics, right? So like, because there's like red, green, and blue, like basically represent like the Silver Age, the Modern Age, and then whatever the other one is. But anyways, excellent game, really fun. Brazilian designer, just absolutely crushed it. And I cannot wait for the US implementation. I love this game so much. I'm going to get both versions and have them side by side in my collection. And you know, because that is somebody that deserves your money, because they made a game that good, right? Go ahead and get both versions. Reward them for their efforts. And I'm really glad that this got picked up in the States. Really glad, and that they're going to keep it with. And you could do a DC expansion. You know, you could do a Dark Horse. I mean, Chris, you could do a Star Wars one. You could do the 90s Star Wars comics, which had an amazing amazing run of Dark Horse Star Wars comics. And then just recently, Marvel in the last 10 years, you know, what do they have? 60 issues of Star Wars, like a 60 issue run. I mean, and lots of amazing covers on that. And I've got that whole run. Actually, I do have the new run, like complete start to finish. But yeah, I mean, there's just so much stuff you could do with it and expand.
Go back, Chris.
You going to talk about the glasses?
No. Go forward one. Is that the spine of the game?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm very lucky to have a copy of my own. Our friend from the show, Alan, brought one to QsCon 2 years ago for me, and we got to I played it with him, which was the highlight of my convention. That is the first thing I noticed. The attention to detail. They have the golden, silver, and modern.
Yes.
The characters spanned out on the spine. Like the level of detail there was like, okay, great. Then you go into the comics, and like we were talking about, like I have those up in the closet. Like a lot of those are up in the closet. What the hell?
I was trying to show Tim's up close.
Oh,
they're great.
Yeah. So, yeah, the spine. There's the spine.
That got me. That was one of the best. Yeah. Like that, the attention to detail there was just amazing.
These are the little boxes my sister
cool.
made. Yeah. But I mean, it's just so many awesome.
Yep.
Comic book covers. Y'all look great. Beta Ray Bill right there.
As far as I've heard from rumors and whatever hearsay, there are only a few comic covers that were going to cause an issue that they would have to adjust for, but that they were keeping the theme, like with the comic covers and everything. So,
I mean, I don't care if the United States version has a completely different set of comic book covers. I really don't.
Sure.
It's just the fact that they can keep it all, you know, like I said, they could do Marvel, they could do DC. Somebody said the old the old horror comics, right? I mean, that would be so cool. So many awesome things you could do with this. But yeah, I am very, very, very excited for this game. And which is why it's my number 2. But there's one I'm like a little bit more excited about.
This one isn't really about the theme either. It's what Tim said before. The way the gameplay works in the 3 rounds with the 4 different ways of collecting, it works like I can't think of anything else that plays the same way that this does.
No,
with the collecting of the stuff in round 1, you do A, B, and C. Round 2, you do A, B, and D. Round 3, you do A, D, and C. It's like it's so smart. It's really smart game.
And A, B, C, and D are all completely different drafting styles. And I feel like you could not only change the IP for multiple copies of this, you could just change all of the drafting styles for each one, because that's really all it is. It's 4 different types of drafting, and they're all interesting and unique from each other.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and I'd buy every damn version of it. I really would, because it
was really fun.
Yeah, I like them all. It'd be really cool.
I mean, you could have a board game version.
Yeah.
Boop. You really could.
Oh, there you go.
You really could.
They have one. Wasn't that Age of Comics that fulfilled about 2 months ago?
No. That's
like you're collecting board games.
Have one with board game boxes.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
And it'd be a better game than Shelfie Stacker, which I didn't like. But
wow.
Very cool. Yeah, that's a good one.
Great pick, Tim.
Thank you, Alan, for my copy.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really awesome.
Yeah, where's Alan? We're talking about one of his favorite games. He's not in the thing. Oh, Andrew's here. Andrew, we were talking about you earlier, buddy.
Oh, Styles in here?
Yeah. Watch out.
Yeah, that was when I was shunned for bringing up your game too early. Sorry about that.
Well, yeah. So we can't talk about it anymore because you already covered it and 12 other games on your
And
first
it says
pick.
2025. We don't, unless Andrew knows a little bit more than us.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he might, but it was either yesterday or today. I asked him about it.
Which I'm sure you'll discuss on Wednesday's show.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, do it up. Number 2.
All right, my number 2. So originally my number 2 was Forges of Ravenshire. And then I made the decision to make it Comic Hunters. Then I had to change it to World Order. World Order, it says 2024. They don't have the Kickstarter up yet, so I'm starting to think this is a stretch to get this out in 2024. But this is Hegemonic Games, who brought you Hegemony. Gemini is already, it was a 2023 release, and it's already in the hundreds. This is one of the best crunchy games of 2023 was Hegemony. And Dan from our channel will not stop talking about it. It's like his second favorite game of all time now. So I want to see that same company do their take on political powers, battling it out. I would really like to see their take on it because Hegemony is based on a class system, and economic students actually helped design this game. So it's supposed to feel like different class systems that work off of each other in an economy. Well, I'd love to see how different world powers are supposed to work together in a board game format. This one really, really interests me.
I still haven't learned my copy of it.
Hegemony, that is a game that I have not played yet, but I'm obsessed with because it just sounds awesome. I'd love to play it, but it's going to take like an afternoon. Like that is
that's why I haven't gotten it. I've heard it's a big learn. Yeah.
Some games are like, hey man, roll on over here, pick something off the shelf that you want to play. Like, let's go. Hegemony's like 3 weeks from now, just bring some beer, bring some pizza. We're going to be here all day. Let's dig in. Let's go.
Would you say 3 weeks from now?
Yeah, sure. Let's go. Oh no, is that Level Up or is that when we got it? You got to be in Jersey?
It'd be the week after.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get to play Hegemony either, Tim, but
I didn't either.
No, a lot of people love it. And I'm like, all right, I got to play one of these, and this one's got area control in it, so I'm hooked.
If anybody knows a good tutorial on how to play it, put it in the chat.
Ooh, I'll ask Dan if he's got one.
Yeah,
Dan made some good play raids. I can get him to share those with you, I think.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, that looks interesting. Good.
It's going to be a beast. It's I don't think they have a weight rating on it yet, but I'm sure it's going to be heavy, but should be thematic heavy, which kind of always makes it easier to absorb.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so Googs, can you take out Mike's number 1 with your?
No, there's no shot.
I don't think so.
What I have left is not going to be on Rice's radar.
Oh.
Like his will be, if he's going with shit like this, I feel like I'm in the Hobbit section while he's like shopping at the local shop.
Hey, I'll be right there with you, Mike.
Hey,
Comic
man,
Hunters is not the heaviest game in the world.
No, it's so great. That's where I am. This seems like holy crap.
You know what though? I mean, I also had Gnome Hollow on my list, so I love all kinds of games.
Yeah,
so.
but World Order does feel like, let me go get my master's degree real quick in political science, and then we'll come back and play this.
Yeah, it does.
Or if you can actually complete a play of Hegemony, you do get awarded a doctorate in political science.
You get an honorary doctorate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then shortly after that, they give you a Fed job.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give you my number 2. I bet neither of you, none of you have heard of this one. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Well, how about you spell it and we'll all decide.
It's TIR space NA.
Tierna Nog?
I see it right there.
I've heard of it.
You have heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's by Grand Gamers Guild. It's got stellar art. It's in Celtic mythology.
That's how I know about it.
It seems to have a puzzle. It's a card game, not a card game. It's a card-based game, but it seems to have a puzzle to it similar to Downtown Farmers Market, which I've talked about on the show multiple times. I love how you're trying to trigger endgame points based on rows and columns. And it seems to have that same kind of core mechanism where the cards you're placing either diagonal from the card that's there or orthogonal from the card that's there is triggering endgame points for you. So it looks stunningly beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Grand Gamers Guild is another publisher that it's like, guys, don't sleep on. They got a lot of good titles. They're really good. They put out good stuff.
Mark's
and I
great person.
I was gonna say I like the people involved in it, and tied to it.
Yeah, Mark's awesome. But this game, the art we were talking earlier about how the art could turn you off. The art on this turns me right onto the game because I want to be in that world.
Yeah.
Also, Celtic mythology is fantastic, but the way that those cards are laid out and based on how you're playing them and what's being played next to them and how they're triggering, it all looks like that kind of puzzle that I just adore. And Downtown Farmers Market's very light. It's very thinky because of the way you set it up and how you're trying to trigger your columns. And eventually you're just going to have to burn a row because you're not going to trigger them all. It seems to have that same kind of feel with the rows or columns triggering points for you. I just don't know much more about the gameplay. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've seen the name and what the heck is that? That was really it.
Right. The name's not going to do it. Like, it'll give you a little bit of a preamble, right? Like, okay, it's got to be something Irish or mythological or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets you. The cover gets you. And then I'm hoping the back of the box will give you like that 1, 2, 3 of how it plays.
Right.
But when you read about it and how the cards are being laid down, and then once the cards are laid down, then you're trying to play these other things. And I think it's got like a one card. You're playing a card to your hand and playing a card to the board. Like it's 2 cards per round or something like that, where it's got this fun, like, which one do I want to keep? Which one do I want to play? Kind of push and pull. So that's my 2.
Nice.
Looks really cool. I like that art.
It looks beautiful. Also, I agree. They're like Oahu. It was stellar art. The myth.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
That one up all the time. The acrylic minis. The art was beautiful. Everything, even Garinto is just a striking.
Oh, Garinto's awesome.
Garinto's good.
Yep.
Really good.
So this is next. It's coming out this year, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah,
nice.
I back to how that one's solid.
I've got Patriot from Grand Gamers Guild. I haven't played it yet, but it looks.
I need to play that one too. Yeah.
All right, so my number 2. I'm actually very surprised nobody put this up. So maybe I'll squish some muddies, but there's no way it can't be in my list with both Andrew Bosley and Vincent Dutrait. It's got to be Unconscious Mind.
So
did I think Mike's number 1?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
You're just getting destroyed, Rice.
Yeah. I mean, just without even knowing how the game played at all, just the idea of getting Andrew Bosley to do the dream state and Dutrait to do I was like, I'm behind it 100%. I don't care if it's a memory game. I'm getting it because I love both artists. They're 2 of my favorite artists. And so to mix these 2 and look at the beautiful mixture of it, it's amazing. And then you start reading the description of it, and I see the word rondelles and multiple rondelles, and I'm just in because I love rondelle games. Cascading effects, engine building, love that. Worker placement, everything's worker placement. But still, I mean, and then Fantasia, they're knocking it out of the park, really. We just talked about Sweet Mess, what they did for it and stuff. So, yeah, I'm even more excited after that. I was like, oh, okay, I can't wait. So.
And their production of Endless Winter was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
The production was really nice. There's Alan. We were just talking about you.
Yeah, Alan, we're talking about comic hunters.
We had Comic Hunters up here. Yeah. Yeah, do trade love. Well, I was like, I mean,
He traded detective, didn't he?
yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That was the first time I was like, ooh, who's this artist? What's that? Detective City of Angels. And then, there's some games I've just bought because of the cover of the box.
I mean, Heat After Us. I mean, he's done so many good ones.
Yeah.
The art project from the op is.
What's that one that's very Celtic, like, can't remember now. But it just recently.
Museum too, right?
Which one? Yep, Museum. I've got that one, mostly because of the art, and then still a good game, but yeah, I mean, I wasn't even thumbing through here, but I mean, just all the little boards and stuff. It makes my Euro mind explode. I like it. So I can't wait for this one, and it should have been my number one, really, because my level of excitement, but my number one is something I've been waiting on for too long. So
I'm gonna blow your Euro mind away with my number one.
Oh, cool.
Maybe not. I don't know. But
I'll just say this was my number one. I wrote this down and then filled out everything after this. This was the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, I thought of this before going to the BGG list. I was like, well, this first, and then
I also studied some psychology back in school, and the fact that this is based on Sigmund Freud, you got me. There's just so much to love about this for me. Absolutely.
Yeah, but tell me about your mother.
Well, I'm attracted to her, Tim. Why?
Okay, just Oedipus called and he was wondering. That's well done though. Good pick. Thank you for stealing one of Mike's. I appreciate that.
Awesome. Yeah,
personal.
Great. What were there?
Really
Three? We grabbed 3 of Mike's?
Yeah.
Alan, where are you? You gotta be close to one of us.
I think he's in. Is he in my time zone? No, he wouldn't be. Anyway, all right. So that was my number 2. So we're down to number 1.
Number 1. All right. Yeah. My number 1 is a reprint. This is a game that I loved when TMG published it. I don't know, probably 2015, 2016. Trick or Treat Studios is reprinting it. Now, here's the thing about Scoville, my number 1. I really like it. Yes. And here's the thing is Scoville is such a cool, like, I guess it's kind of action selection-y. You have to, there's a couple different phases because you've got to, you're trying to gain the recipes and all that stuff. Here's the thing about Scoville, and you're planting the peppers. You've got your chart, which then you can like crossbreed your peppers. So you're going to get like the hotter ones. Here's the thing about Scoville. One of my very best friends for a very long time, Bob, who's one of our co-hosts, colorblind. He cannot play Scoville. And it's like, this is a bane on our existence because I always talk about how much I love Scoville. And he's like, I hate that game. And it's only because he can't play it. Like because of the colors.
Yeah.
So I was at Gen Con talking to some of the folks over at Trick or Treat because they do a ton of games that I like anyways. So I kind of loiter around them. And Joe Stockton from there, he's like, hey, we're doing a reprint of Scoville. And I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, well, here's the thing. Like, if you're going to reprint it, please, you got to, it's probably too late to tell you, but, you guys got to do something with the colorblind thing. My buddy Bob can't play it. He's like, oh, yeah. And he walked me over to the guy who re-updated all like the graphic design for the game. And he's like, hey, tell Tim about Scoville. So they're completely fixing the color problem by using iconography on the peppers and all that stuff. And it's like such a nice, simple fix, like a little tweak. I believe they're updating the art. The box art's going to look different and stuff because he was showing me some pictures, but it's been since August, so I can't really properly describe it all and everything. But ever since he told me that they were redoing Scoville, I'm like, hell yes. Because that means that I can get to play this game again. Yeah, I know I didn't put in cannibal games. Let me just say, tune in Wednesday when we're doing food and beverage pairings.
Oh, we're screwed
with board games. But no, I was so excited that they were going to redo Scoville and make it and fix it for colorblind gamers and all this stuff. Because yes, this is all. There's not pictures that I'm aware of for it, but I know it's coming out this year, and I'm really excited for them because right now most of their games library is like horror themed games, which is fine. I love it. Right, I love their version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love their Halloween designed by Emerson Matsuuchi is my second favorite hidden movement 1v many hidden movement games. Now, the guy who did Spectre Ops, does one, but the hidden mover is Michael Myers. So anyways, I'm just really glad that they're picking up other games in their catalog, right? And they're not just taking a game that I already really like and reprinting it, but they're actually fixing the one reason why I can't get it to my table anymore. Because when we first got Scoville, it was like, oh, let's play it. Oh, Bob's coming over. Well, let's not bring out Scoville. We got to put it back. And guess what? Bob's one of my best friends. He shows up to almost all my game days. So, it just kind of stopped getting played. I still got it. And it's collected dust because it's like, I just feel like a dirtbag for bringing it out and be like, hey, Bob, here's this great game that everybody but you can play. So, anyways, I thought Emerson Matsuuchi did Spectre Ops. Did he say somebody else did it?
Did.
No, you called him the Spectre Ops guy.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
yeah, the Spectre Ops guy figure. He did.
I got you. I caught up.
Yeah.
He's done such a wide range of games, but
yeah. Well, again, that's
Century.
Just to go back to the old pick, right? Like he's got a wide variety of stuff. But yeah, so I'm just very excited for Scoville. I can't wait to see the updated version. And again, this is a really fun, crunchy, game, but this is a crunchy game. It's like deceptively crunchy because the theme is very accessible and I can get like my wife and my in-laws to play this game because the theme is fun. And, but they're secretly like actually playing a heavier game than they realize. And I just kind of love those kind of games. And
I will say I'm going to be interested to see if they keep it to 2 to 6 player because this is not a 6-player game.
Too long. Holy crap! No, like 4 players.
5
players.
is a little stretching it too. Yeah.
4.
And not only that, not only for too long, but this is showing what 6 players have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
This is too crowded. You can't get your stuff done.
No, you can't do shit.
You can't get your peppers and stuff. It doesn't expand for that many players. But
it's not being fun. It's not fun at that point. Yeah, it's not fun at that point. So yeah, I didn't think to ask about the 6-player thing. I just asked about the colorblind thing. But that's a very good point. Because the second you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, no way, no way in hell I'd play with 6 players. No way.
I have all of my games. They're organized by max player count. Oh, and I've debated taking this out of the 6-player one and putting it in the 4 just to say no.
Yeah, I think you should.
Because you have 6 people come over and you go, okay, we can play from here down, real easy that way. And the minute they go, oh, let's do this one, I'm like, no. So I got to move it down to the 4.
Yeah,
but it is a great game. I love this game.
I'm glad you like it. I like this game too.
I've had this on a few of my lists. I think the last time was whenever we were talking about recipe mechanisms, because this one has like it is recipe. You're making chilies and stuff like that. Yeah.
There's a few. I noticed when I was looking through the list that Harvest is also getting reprinted in 2024, which was a TMG game. So I guess a lot of the buyout or whatever had happened. Now they're starting to come to fruition.
Yeah. It sounds like the guys got hopefully the designers got their licenses to the games that they could go there.
Yeah, I'm very lucky in that when Orleans came out, I just got the deluxe and then loved it so much that I got every single deluxe TMG ever made, and almost every single one of them. I was so happy to get that, And now, of course, now that they're gone, nobody else can get them. I'm glad that they're coming back out and stuff. I hope somebody picks up Gentees. Well, I've seen the Gentees is out by another publisher, but it was like, I think they just grabbed the exact files and made it. Like, I want somebody to make that one, and because that one is that's always on my list of games that people don't know about.
Oh yeah. I'd like Belfort to get a reprint again. Oh yeah, I mean, I like Belfort a lot, but.
They just did that though, just a couple years ago.
Well, they had a Kickstarter for an expansion, and then, but yes, and then TMG immediately went under right after that film. So
yeah, good pick. If it actually comes out in 2024.
It will.
Otherwise, we'll have to bring it back on and shame you and all that.
That's fair. Totally fair. I'll come back on to be shamed. We shamed Mike enough tonight that next time will definitely be my turn. Next time will definitely be my turn.
Sure of it.
Book it. Book it.
All right, so let's see what game Mike scrambled to put in after we've taken out his list.
This would have to be like what, his 8th on his list?
Right.
Yeah, like 8 or 9, I think I'm down to now. But I'm still not sure which one to pick.
Oh,
so
Lord.
I'm just gonna stick to the under the radar stuff. And so I'm going with Katrini from Darkness to Light.
Yes.
So this is coming to you from Ion Game Design. Katrini with a K. Kartini.
Help Chris any chance you get.
This game made a lasting impression on me because you will get educated if you play this game. This game is actually about women getting an education in early 1900s India. Katrini is one of the main people who was capable of making this happen. She was one of the main civil rights movement people for women in the country of India during this time. And at that time, the government and the military made it very difficult for women to get a secondary education. This game 100% encapsulates that theme, and yet it is a very good, very mechanically sound Tableau engine building game. The map, you start in one region, but you need to graduate your students. Once they graduate, you could make them a fighter. When they become a fighter, you can use that military presence to expand your schools into other areas so that you can get more students for your schools. Until you expand into other regions, you won't have enough students for your schools. Your students can also become teachers, and then they become like a permanent teacher that you can use for the rest of the game. Meanwhile, there's like temporary students that you have to pay money for. There's all kinds of different special powers in this game. Every single one of the people in this game, like Rama El Yanosiga, for example, on the far right there, that is a real person who had an impact in early 1900s India.
No, it's not India. It's Indonesia.
Indonesia.
That's why there's islands.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, that's why there's islands.
I was going to ask you.
You know, India was famously made up of islands in the early 1900s. Before then, the landmass consolidated.
It feels like it's very her story, but like on steroids.
Yes,
because it's a crunchy engine builder.
Right, but the whole idea of like it being real people that really made an impact, like her story is full of, like they went into a classroom and had students pick the women that were going to be in that game, and they all had an impact in history. This one seems like it's got that same thing where you're learning something and they have these powers and this Tableau or engine building, but like, wow, this looks amazing.
Yeah, this game was really good. We got a random email. I shouldn't say a random email. We got an email asking if we wanted to look at this game last year and do like a preview for it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll try anything, you know, like it sounds really cool. And we played it, and like not only was the gameplay really satisfying and really good, but like Mike said, it was like a history lesson. It's like I was not aware of any of this. You know, anytime you can learn, you know, about a different culture, you know, a different culture's history and things like that, you know, from a completely different part of the world. And just what a really neat education that you were getting, you know, while playing this game. It was very cool.
Yeah, it's not just the theme. I mean, the theme ties into the mechanics extremely well, but it is a very well done engine builder, and just the different types of abilities that you can recruit, and they all feel so powerful. I love those games where you get a card, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so OP, and then you get another special ability, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so OP. This is one of those games where every ability just seems like, oh my gosh, this is gonna break the game. Just felt so good, and the thematic tie-in, it made a lasting impression on me. I just haven't played a game that was so mechanically sound that also like I learned something by playing this game. It's fantastic, and I know that not enough people are going to talk about this because I want to say it only brought 30 or 40K on Kickstarter.
Yeah, I mean, it funded comfortably, but didn't blow up. Right. I wonder if I still have this prototype somewhere. Now I want to play it again.
Now I want to play it. Damn it.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it really does.
I would definitely play this.
Even the
I didn't see this on Kickstarter.
No,
Do you know when it came out?
Maybe was it GameFound?
I had, yeah. I mean, there's sometimes if I'm putting out something on Kickstarter, there's like a block of months where I don't see anything.
Oh,
so I bet you it was during.
Sure. I'm gonna look because I'm now curious.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, did he find it?
Yeah. I should. Well, I'd send it with West, but you'd probably want somebody to teach you the game. Unfortunately.
I'm sure there's plenty of. There's a video. I could go back and watch your video.
But I could send it with West. Yeah.
So they combined 2 games in this one campaign. The other game they
Third
combined
Crusade.
it with was Third Crusade. And it raised 26,000 euros. So again, not a huge hit, but that doesn't mean it's not a good game. It just you're not going to get a ton of people talking about it because it only raised about 20K.
You get a ton of people talking about it once they play it. Once it's out and people are playing it.
Yeah,
I hope so. It deserves it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those sleeper games where I think, it's like, oh, you play this and people are going to go, what was that game? Like, that was awesome. Why haven't I heard of this? I mean, this is one of those.
Yeah.
When we did the preview for that game too, we got a ton of comments on the video like, wow, I didn't know anything about this. I didn't know anything about the theme. It's really cool how they tied the theme in. We just got a lot of good feedback about this one.
And it obviously made a lasting impression on, I think, everybody that played it in a good way, right? We all.
Very cool.
What's the play count?
Good choice.
2 to 4?
I thought it was 5.
They count
1 to 6.
6.
Yeah, 1 to 6.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Unlike Scoville, I think you could play this at 6. I think we played at 4. Learning. Hour and a half, 2 hours.
It was it didn't overstay its welcome at like
it didn't feel very long though because all the stuff you could do was so interesting.
Huh. Oh, nice. Good pick. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that one.
You should send it to West. We'll play it on one of the Fridays. I'll see him next weekend, and I'll see him at Level Up. So.
All right, I'll tell West I got to get that game to him.
Okay.
So.
We'll play.
And that'll be cool because that'll make it so that West has to hang out with me for a minute.
Sure, let's do that. We'll get this a live play.
Oh yeah!
All right, well picked. All right, to beat that night. No.
I'm just gonna turn my computer off. How do you even? Oh, Evan's back.
For 5 minutes, he says, yeah.
Yeah, 5 minutes. Oh, Evan, did you get that email? I know it's cryptic, but he knows what I'm talking about. All right, I'm gonna come out with it. I don't think if anybody watched the last couple live plays of games that we did, the name has changed since we had it on the show. It actually went through an actual a name. Oh, good. A name change. It's called Maki Maker. MAKI space maker.
What was it before? Maybe they haven't changed it on here.
No, it should be Maki Maker.
MACHI?
MAKI.
Well, why didn't you say that?
I literally spelt it.
Yeah, but why didn't you say that?
You mean master? Maki master?
I said.
Not my fault.
I wrote master.
Really? They're going to change this?
Yeah.
Why are they changing the name?
They had to change the name. I'm not 100% sure what's going on.
Yeah.
But for those that watched the show when we played it, And for as anyone that knows me, the Wasabi, the original from Z-Man, I loved that game. It was hard to find for a while, easily approachable. It was a little, now playing this new one, it was definitely clunky, but for its time was really well done. What KTBG did, they just streamlined it. They made it super fun, super easy. The way the puzzle works, this kind of goes with that Irish game or the Celtic game from earlier. The idea that you're doing this puzzle of like trying to get things in order and you're looking at columns and rows. Apparently it's a thing now. I adored this game when it was out. I was so excited to see that they were doing it again. Playing it with Sean and you on the show, like it just reinvigorated that fire of like, all right, I got to find my old copy. I want to play this more. And it's coming out this year. So I'm super excited about this one.
And a kids table board game is going to look amazing. Every one of their titles just looks great. Yep. They really
they have
crush.
A beautiful aesthetic, great art. The gameplay is great. I like what they did to the new version.
Yeah. This was really fun to play. I got stomped hard in this game, I believe. But I enjoyed every bit of it. Yeah. And halfway through, I was like, okay, I know what I'd do next time. That kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not it doesn't overstay. You don't feel like you're like, oh, I just don't want to do this anymore. It stacks really well for the number of players, right? You're doing the 4-player goes all the way to the dark area on the right, and then 3-player and 2-player. So you're space restricted, and you're trying to. I really like what they did. Originally, you were giving pieces to other people, and you had a hand of tiles. And this one's just like pick a tile, put a tile down, try and get a thing done. Really clean, really streamlined. So I would legitimately say of all the things, I'm very much looking forward to Marvel United, the Multiverse one, just because of what it is. Mm-hmm. But if I were to actually rank these like I normally would, this would definitely be my number one. I'm super excited about this.
Ranked.
I gotta say, I got to chat with Sean at Gen Con about this game, and it looked awesome. I was really hoping we could preview it. But we were just super busy at the time that this one came out, so it didn't happen. But I know the good thing about these guys is that once it fulfills, they're going to have a retail regularly available for it. So I was very interested in this one.
Yeah, it's very good.
It will not disappoint. The puzzle nature, the way you're doing your turn, it gives you, it's not only a choice of what food to take because you don't want to give somebody a combo, which you really don't know if you can, but you want to set yourself up for one in a sly manner because you don't want them to know what you're up to because they can just put something in your way. But there's also that push and pull of the wasabi cubes because they're points. And like the way that works with the wasabi growing, you're like, oh, do I just pull the wasabi? Will it go one more turn? Is Chris going to get it next? There are a lot more decisions in this game than it looks like it's light and fluffy, but it gets pretty crunchy. Like more tempura, less soft rice, right? It's good.
Man, I'm getting hungry. All right. Yeah, this was on my honorable mentions, so I'm glad it was in the list.
Nice pick.
Very good.
Good pick. This is one I'll probably just buy when it's available retail.
Do not sleep on it. I don't know if late pledges, I can ask. I don't know if late pledges are up. I think the difference between the deluxe version and the retail version was like $6. Like it wasn't even that big of a thing, and their components are amazing. So
yeah, they are.
It's still open if you can go get it. It's worth it.
Yeah, they might have a late pledge manager or something going on.
They might.
Very cool pick. All right, so my number one is the one that I was saying I've been waiting a little while for, and it's Arydia.
Ooh,
yes. Change the heads on the minis.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is from the guy from the Zaya guy.
Yes.
Now, to be fair, he's been very communicative, all that stuff, and some stuff has happened personally and all that. I'm not upset that it's taken long, other than the fact that I just want to play it, right? It's not like one of those, like there's an issue that it's taking a long time. I just want to play this game. It got all this cool stuff, like these the tiles in the board flip over as you explore them, and which is something in a game that I've been like working on in my head. When I saw it, I was like, damn it, they got to it first, stuff like that. There's a lot of that stuff in here too. And it, there's it's adventure and all this stuff, but the fact that it's made by the same Zaya guy that's like, that open world sandbox.
This guy knows how to design a sandbox, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he really does.
I can't wait to dive into that. I love sandbox games. There are traps in those games where I'd love to see designs figure out a way around. I've been trying to work on it myself, of like someone's turn takes so long, it takes like 30 minutes to get around to your turn, that kind of stuff, And same thing happens with Star Wars Outer Rims and stuff like that. Sometimes they can have really long turns and it takes forever and you're not involved in all that. But if you are in the mood to sit down and have a long game and accept that kind of thing and just dive into the story of what other people are doing, then you're good, right? Into that kind of thing. So I love sandbox games for better or for worse. And this is like one of the best, coolest one that I've seen pop up in a long time. So I just want to play it. That's just give me the game.
Great pick. I think a lot of people are excited to see what Cody can do again.
Yeah.
And Zaya is one of my favorite games. I love Zaya Legend of the Drift
really
System. Like I
That's funny. 2 of your top 5, I am a backer for, and completely forgot about them because they've taken so long. And I'm just like, like I get the updates, and I'm like, okay, Kickstarter folder, like great, things are moving, appreciate it.
Well, after I went through, like you mentioned, you go to BGG, type in 2024, and then see what happens. After I did that, or midway through that, because it's 19 pages, I stopped and I went, let me go see what Kickstarters I'm waiting on and if they're supposed to come out this year. So I went through that whole list of Game Founds, the backer kits, all that stuff. So, which was good because I was like, hey, where's this one been? You have to go check the updates. You got to do that every now and then, right?
Little bookkeeping.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, can't wait for this. Sandbox Fantasy sold instant. So.
Yep. Yeah, hell yeah. Great pick.
Cool. And that is our top 5 exciting games coming in 2024. Looks like a good year.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great year.
We say that every year.
And every year, you're right.
To talk about stuff that we purposefully left off the list, maybe.
Charcuterie's coming.
Charcuterie's coming sooner than later. That one's getting on a ship fairly soon, actually.
I was actually going to almost message you, Mike, if that was going to be out this year, but I didn't want to put it on and then be too pandering to the host. So,
No, we posted. Was it today? I posted the update today with the pictures. We got we don't have the cheese bag done yet. Thanks, Mike, for pointing that out.
Stay fresh, cheese bag.
We're holding that one back. But we got the burlap one with the charcuterie stamp. We got the punch boards. We got the unboxing kind of pictures of the production copy. So that's actually getting turned around really quickly. So that'll be shipping soon. I'm looking forward to Andromeda's Edge. I think it's going to blow the doors off of Dwellings. I like the fantasy theme, but man, Andromeda's Edge is just that much better.
That is the weird thing. I'm a huge sci-fi guy, but when it comes to board games, I'm usually more fantasy themed than sci-fi just because of what's been made sci-fi wise. Yeah. But Andromeda's Edge is, I work for the company and I worked on the game. So, Asterisk and all that stuff. I love this game. It's even better than Dwellings. And I can't wait to get the physical form. I've only ever played it over TTS.
I don't work for the company, and I don't get paid for saying it, and it's definitely going to blow Dwellings out. Like I'm a little biased because they're friends of mine, but I played it early prototype at PAX U 3 years ago.
Yeah,
now, I think 2 years ago, maybe. I think it was 3 years ago.
As well.
Yeah. And it was great then, and they've just refined and refined and refined. It's Dwellings is a great game. Andromeda's is that much better.
Yeah.
But then you also got Critter Kitchen, which is coming out this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So there's a lot of stuff coming out from the
I'll
houses.
work hard to try to make that happen. Yeah.
Yep. You'll get it. On my list, there were a couple others. We had Matt. We talked about Matt Ryan earlier. His little small box games are coming out this year, and I can't wait for Sirens. We played it online.
Sirens, yep.
I love how the game plays. I love the theme, and then the idea that the app is going to sing the song. That's
can't wait,
dude. Dude, it's gonna be awesome.
Game series.
I saw him at BGG Con. I think it was BGG Con. Yeah, I saw him. I was like, "Where's Sirens?" He was like, "Not yet." I was like, "Ah."
Yeah. 25th, we talked about Chad and 25th Century with Andrew's game. He's got Aguada, I think is how it's pronounced. The City of Umbrellas.
Oh, yeah. That box art is amazing.
Yep. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The game looked, there was Donut Shop, there was something else, and Aguada that were in a 3-fer. And I'm really looking forward to the Umbrella one. It just looks great. Then the only other one is Mistwind by First.
Yes.
So that's from personal. That's Daryl and Adrian, who I designed with and are friends of mine. I played that when it was a cruise ship kind of pickup and delivery game, which was, I believe, its second or third iteration of a game at that point. It was like messenger pigeons, an iteration before, but I played it as a cruise ship one, and I loved it. And what they did with it, where they're bringing in that art with those flying whales, and the art is just stellar. The game is great. Like the foundation of that game is great. So couple that with the art that they have in it, that one's going to be a knockout. So art. Yeah, just beautiful. Yeah,
just that cover alone grabs me.
Yeah, they were going to different islands, and they were doing stuff, and it was like it all worked great. And I loved theme aside. Like, I'm sure cruise ships you could have made a little kitschy and whatever, but the gameplay was great. And now you put that world on it, and it like invites you into what's going on there. Yeah,
whales. No, but they do turn into a flower pot.
Yep.
Yeah,
as they contemplate their
existence.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I left it off the list because it's very obvious, but I am legitimately interested in Wormspan. All memes and jokes aside, Wingspan is fine. I know Mike Rice loves him some Wingspan.
It is a fantastic game. That's why they're remaking it.
For me, the idea, like, immediately when I saw that and they announced it, I put my brain in the space of I am the guy going around and trying to catalog the monsters for the monster manual in D&D. Like, I'm that fantasy character that's going through and cataloging the dragons. And I thought, how cool is that? Anyways, Mr. Giuliano, what would you like to say?
When you're done, I just don't want to forget what Mike just said.
Oh, that Wingspan's a great game already?
No, I agree. Wingspan is a great game. It's approachable. It's not without flaw, but it is a great game. I wouldn't say that they're remaking Wingspan. This is not supposed to be a Wingspan. This is a different. It's supposed to be heavier. So
yeah, it's a redesign.
Right.
It's going to borrow some of the mechanics from the original game and make it a little bit more gamified.
Right, but people going into it thinking it's going to be Wingspan they might be.
Those are people that are dismissing it very quickly. And honestly, I think Wingspan makes like my overrated games list every year. I think Wingspan is fine. I think people go way more bananas for it than it. It's very good. It's very good. And it's a game that is very good for the hobby. Because again, I think it brings in people that may not initially be drawn into the hobby. So awesome. I love any game. I appreciate, and I'm very grateful for any game that does that. But now you're getting into Wormspan. We're talking about dragons. Like, let's rock and roll. Like, here we go.
You know, when Wingspan came out, I was like, all right, I'm going to watch the hype kind of thing. I got it immediately because at the time I was getting Stone Mare immediately when it was stuff come out. And then I got it and I played it. I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. And I played it again and I played it again and again and again and again and again and again. And I've played it a lot. And then I was like, I guess I actually really do like this game
Sure.
because I played it a lot. But
Yeah.
it's not a game that I go, ooh, I love. Like I don't know why, but it's so easy just to put on the table and start.
It is.
Going, really.
It is.
That's it.
It is.
And once you're in it,
I call it my comfort game. Like I don't have to go into the rules. I don't have to think about how to set it up. I get it out. Every action feels good. I thoroughly love the game of Wingspan. So I'm happy that it's going to get a version of that game to people that dismissed it because it's a nature theme.
Yeah, I will say this. One of my favorite things about it, and this is stupid, but it is the little facts of the birds on the cards.
Hell yeah.
And
100%.
to hear that in the dragon thing that they just made up facts that would be fun and put it in the book and not on the cards, I was like, you just took away like a good chunk of the game that I like.
They need it. They need the flavor text on the cards. They really do. Like that's one of my favorite things about like Clank. I don't know if you guys ever played the old card game Jihad, the Vampire Masquerade game Jihad. Like that had very cool flavor text on there. There was a D&D Planeswalkers collectible card game that had some cool flavor text back in the 90s. Man, I live for that stuff. I think that stuff's great. Magic the Gathering does a great job of that, right? Flavor, when they put that in there, it's very cool because it's all world building, right? Ascension does a really good job of that too. And that was a disappointment.
The only thing that irks me about it is that it was supposed to be dinosaurs at some point, and I love dinosaurs. I wanted to be a paleontologist when I was a kid, and I thought, oh man, they'll have cool facts about dinosaurs on the cards, and I'm sad that I missed that if that's the way they're going.
Sure, totally fair.
Do you think, talking about world building, do you think that Wormspan is what they're going to say they measure the length of the wings of the worm, the dragons are?
In meters?
Maybe it's breath ability, instead of wingspan, it's every dragon that shoots fire versus frost versus electricity, stuff like that.
So they're going to give the name of that measuring thing Wormspan? Like Wingspan is Wingspan.
Like they've said, it's not an exact same game. They might not even have that feature, right?
Sure. I've wondered that too.
Yeah, Wormspan just seemed like.
But I mean, you could just go, yeah, this one has this big of wings and stuff.
Well, it could just be the length of the dragon itself from snout to tail. That's the span of the worm.
Sure, but it's all made up, right? You couldn't make up something else besides Wormspan.
Listen, they spent all their creative juices making a game. They couldn't come up with a different time.
Or coming up with the flavor text for all of the different dragons.
Right.
I think Wingspan is definitely one of the better games from Stonemaier. This one, I know Elizabeth's behind it, right? Developing it. I get it. I think it's going to be good. I hope it's better. Mm-hmm. It's just that name is like,
it's so weird.
Yeah, I'm not really behind it.
I mean, the name feels derivative, but if the name had come out, if that had come out before Wingspan, you started it up. You wouldn't think twice about it. I don't think so.
I probably still would have made a comment
Wormspan
about
came out
what
first.
The hell is Wormspan? Like that's
and I'm guessing it is snout to tail.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm guessing.
It's smart because if he hadn't named it that, if they had named it, and maybe he wasn't the one, if he hadn't chosen, publisher, to name it that, if they'd name it, Dragon Scale or something like that, then everybody would be going like, oh, this is a ripoff of, but because he was just like, hey, guess what? This is coming from here. He's like owning it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then people don't have anything to stand on to say
just,
that. Right?
Just get out in front of it, endure the week and a half of memes. And then by the time that the game actually comes out, all the jokes have been made, and the game has an opportunity to stand on its own.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna wait. But
unless Wormspan is not in the game, then people are gonna come back. Why'd they name it this? It's not even used in the game. They could have come out with anything.
Well, we already know that
people need to come up with better things to do.
We already know it. Already shares some stuff to it. So
true. Yeah. Yep.
Anyway. This is how brilliant he is that he turned our entire conversation into Wormspan.
It was after. It was after.
Yeah. I
We can
have
talk about
only
Path
one
to
other.
Civilization. You want to talk about Path to Civilization for a little while?
That's a what? No. I do have one honorable mention that basically my number 6 or 7 or something.
I was being
like that.
serious.
What?
I was being serious. Do you know that game?
No.
Okay. Continue.
Okay. And it's this one. Have you guys seen this? The Civolution. It's Feld, and it's build your civilization kind of game from him. And this kind of stuff just immediately makes me want to dive in. I love this kind
Tons of tech trees.
Yeah,
It's like supposed to be like a 3-act kind of running
Send
your
me up.
civilization.
I love
From
Feld
my
games.
favorite designer ever, definitely not one of my honorable mentions, Chris.
Oh, that's awesome.
Definitely was one of my honorable mentions. I'm a huge Feld fan.
Yeah.
I'm very
You
curious.
even
to
said
see
it on
his
that banner. Go back to
Very
2024.
There you go.
Nice.
Yep, right there.
Would love to see his take on this type of game.
Yeah, same here. I always feel like
Wow.
every time I play Civ games, I'm like, man, that was good. It feels like it just needs a little bit of this and stuff. I'm looking for the absolute best one.
Mhm.
Thing, and
The
that might be it. Who knows?
Euro experience.
Yep.
I played his Marrakesh last year and it blew me away. It's
Hmm.
amazing.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Sure. Can't wait.
Coming
Do you have anything
from-
left, or should I look for some more stuff?
I got some honorable mentions. That Civolution is coming from Deep Print Games. I'm not familiar with them. I legitimately had Mike won't do it. I can though. I legitimately had Charcuterie as one of my honorable mentions because I got to play it. And I told you I like games that have easy rule sets and difficult decisions. Charcuterie nails that. It really does. Like that whole split mechanic. And all right, you could min-max that for minutes if you wanted to, but I'm just kind of like, that's good enough. But then like
always
Dan, who loves those super analytical crunchy games, the one that was talking of hegemony, play this game, and he's like, okay, this one gives me 5 points.
just give everybody else the olives. Just keep the olives as far from me as possible.
And that photorealistic watercoloring of food is incredible. So I'll gush since Mike can't. It's going to be really good.
Thank you.
Another one is Thiefdom. That was from Karma Games. This is actually designed by Juma El Juju, who did Clans of Caledonia.
Oh.
That game blew me away. And this is like a thief stealth themed pick up and deliver game. So I backed that one just because of the designer, honestly.
I can't find it on here.
Thiefdom,
Spell it slowly,
one
Mike.
word.
Spell it slowly.
Should be THIEFDOM.
Oh, thiefdom. I thought you said
Yeah.
fiefdom.
That's why I said spell it slowly.
Thiefdom.
That's what I said. Booty
I
trap.
still can't find it. I don't know why I'm the one that does this.
I before E, except after
I
C.
before E.
All right. I got thief. Now what?
Dumb. DOM. Like kingdom.
Aha! Found it. Didn't need your
There you
help.
go. Yeah, this one, and it was so cheap to back too. Just looks like a fun, unique little game. And again, I like that designer a lot.
Donnie's got it. Donnie's helping you out there, Chris.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Thief them.
And then a couple others real quick. I am excited about City of the Living, which is a reprint of Reiner Knizia's Prosperity. Trick or Treat Studios is doing that one. Galactic Renaissance looks really good. This is Christian Martinez's newest game, the Inish designer. And so just seeing him come out with another area control game. I also know that Shut Up and Sit Down really talked this up, and I just happen to really enjoy most things they really talk up. So yeah, I'm guilty of that too. Some content creators can just say this game's amazing, I'll go, all right, but And I'll do one more. Undaunted 2200.
Yeah.
They're taking the Undaunted deck building games, which are all war games to this point. Not my favorite theme. No, it's a space theme. So if you were not interested in the war games, now you've got a space theme, and I just keep hearing nothing but good things about the Undaunted games.
Nice. Tim,
Cool,
you got
cool.
anything you want to mention?
You know what? I'll mention one that is out this year. You can buy it now, so I guess it's technically anticipated, and that's called Solar Titans. This was a game that went to Kickstarter last year. What you're doing is you're building your ship out of cards, and you're lining it up against your opponent's ship. And then where you fire is when you shoot, you're going to hit directly across from you, and you're breaking off pieces of your opponent's ships. But you can get shields, you can get all kinds of stuff. So think like Galaxy Trucker. You know, Galaxy Trucker, you take different hits, and it knocks off parts of your ship. In this one, it's like Galaxy Trucker, except you're intentionally attacking your opponents. This was one we did a Kickstarter preview for last year. I absolutely loved it. This just showed up in the mail very recently because they sent us a finished copy as a, thanks for doing the video. And we had a blast playing this, no pun intended. It's just really fun blowing up your opponent's ships and getting the different kinds of guns and missiles and stuff, and trying to attack the weak points on your opponent. And you can the footprint of your ship can get really interesting as you're laying cards out and stuff like that.
Who was the publisher on that?
Who is the publisher?
I just want to praise
Sunny
anybody
Side
who-
Up Games. Sunny Side Up Games.
I just want to praise
this-
anybody who actually sends out the games to people who do the videos.
This is the one I thought where they literally were just designing this game to play it with their game group, and then their game group's like, "No, you need to do more with this." And
That
it
might
turned into
be-
a published game.
That might be what happened. But it is like a husband and wife team, and yeah, it was very enjoyable. Obviously, like I said, we were just cackling like schoolgirls while playing this. Like, we were just enjoying blowing each other's ships up so much. It was super fun. I can't find the designer's name on here, but yeah, man, really liked it. The rules overhead was really, it was very easy to learn and play.
So Philip G or G and is that Wu? Sean Wu?
Maybe, yeah, that's probably right.
Sunny Side Up Games. Nice.
Yeah, that was one. And then I think Chaos Cove from Martin Wallace is coming out this year. And Chaos Cove, Chaos Cove was really good, really fun. And I love me some Marty Wallace, even though I've never played Brass. So
Neither have I.
I love Martin Wallace.
Well,
and I
I
haven't
take
played his
that
most
back.
popular game of all time.
I have played Brass, and I hated every minute of it.
Nice.
But it's not the game's fault; it's the teacher. It was one of those teaches at a convention. I've talked about it before, where the guy just like taught us just enough for us to be AI that he could play the game, and then he'd be like, "Oh, by the way, you could do this." Boom, big scores. Okay, you didn't tell us that. Okay, and so he was just getting us to, and then on our turns, he'd be like, "You do this, and then do that." Okay, now you're done. You do it. It's just like the most miserable time
That's
ever.
awful.
That's back whenever they had the Freddie Mercury cover, before they redid it and all that stuff.
I've got that old cover.
Yeah.
Guy on the
Yeah.
front. Yeah.
So,
that's the one I have.
I do have the new Birmingham thing and all, and I do want to learn it and like give it a second chance because it shouldn't be the game's fault for that. I like Martin Wallace a lot. London is one of my favorites.
Oh, right on. Yeah. But that's it. That's it for me. Chaos Cove, Solar Titans. Last two honorable mentions.
Nice. Did you have any more, Mike?
I'll toss another one out there. The Call of Duty board game. I think 2024 is the year where video game board games are going to be good again. And so this one is Arcane Wonders. I know Bob and Dan got to play this. This is
they loved it.
Bro, they freaking talked this up all of Gen Con after playing this. I don't think I think people are going to be surprised by how good this game. It's got hidden programmed movement, and if you die, you respawn and go again. It looks really good. Arcane Wonders is going to knock you over the head with the production quality, and if the mechanics are sound, looking forward to it.
Nice. Yeah, it looks interesting.
I hope that one does well. It didn't do well in crowdfunding and had Activision people shitting all over it, but whatever.
Yeah, I figured that was because of Activision. They probably needed to bring more than what it brought.
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't Activision that did it. They did, but then the fan base kind of came in and just caused chaos.
Well, the problem is, and I say this as somebody that used to play Call of Duty, there's so many toxic gamers in that community, and it just comes over to the board game side, and they're just going to trash it because they're just unhappy people that want to just troll.
Yep.
Well, and there are some board game IPs that bring multiple millions with no advertising just because of the IP.
Yep.
And I think maybe there was an expectation that would happen with this one because it is a massive IP.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and it's the epitome of anonymity when you talk about games like that, right? Where people can create a username, go on, be rude, be crass, shit all over whatever other people like, and then no one knows who they are, right? The behind the screen kind of thing. And it's a shame. Robert's a friend. The company does really great stuff. Kind of there with Metal Gear Solid. Like if I had to pick one, I'd go Metal Gear just because I'm more of a fan of that stuff because I played the hell out of those games.
That's why it was on my list versus Call of Duty. But
I really hope that one. A lot of you guys were talking. Were you talking about it?
Dan and Spencer or Dan and Bob played it, and they were like, it's actually really good because I was like, tell me how it is.
We were talking about it in person at the con. I think about how great it is.
Yeah, they really enjoyed it.
I hope it rebounds. I hope it does well.
You think that's why board game people are more kind to each other and stuff like that than video game people are? Just because
you got to be face to face.
You have to sit across from them to play and stuff. Yeah,
that's what makes it such a unique community. Because I don't know you, but come sit a foot and a half away from me and play this game for a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't know who you are. I don't care who you are. Play this game. Go away. Do what you got. Like we
literally have to say it to my face if you're going to say something. Yeah.
But the thing is, when you have that connection, right? It's a very intimate industry. When you have that connection, you end up making friends with those people.
Yeah.
Like some of my best friends are from this community
because
I was either invited to a game or invited them to a game. Like
100%.
It's actually a really good point. You don't get in the video game industry anytime you're playing games where people are sitting next to each other. I'm going to teach you something for 30 minutes. I need your full attention for that full 30 minutes. It is a very intimate thing.
Yep.
Pretty cool. Well, that was a lot of fun. How much time do you guys have left?
I got a little bit of time left where I probably should go to bed and go to work, but I can stick around and do something. I know, right? I spent all day at work today shoveling because our plow guy didn't show up, so I was like shoveling like 3 feet of snow so our delivery trucks could go out.
We got little specks of white on top of our roofs over here.
Oh yeah, you got a weird dusting down in Texas, right?
Yeah, it's like what was it? What did I say? 24 degrees right now.
Maybe that was a plane from down south that was running some illicit substances that exploded over you, and it wasn't actually snow. You should go.
We actually have like a big warning. It's blasting out on everything, Alexa, all that, telling us it's going to freeze because we don't know. We had to turn off our water. Like we don't have water right now.
Oh yeah, 24 degrees.
Nothing here is like prepared for that. So
it's 2 degrees here right now.
Those are the time of years when
3
when you get people from up north making fun of the people down south that have rear-wheel drive trucks. No, Kabuki, he's talking about the drifts. We got like maybe 8 to 10 inches, but yeah, the drifts easily 3 feet.
Well, Benton Harbor got more. I work up in Benton
They
Harbor.
did get more. You're right.
They got more. They got a lot more. I can testify to that. They were not drifts.
Keep your hot water on a drip when it gets that cold. You don't have to shut your water off. Just keep your hot water or your cold water. Keep a water dripping.
Mm-hmm.
It'll keep the line moving. It'll keep air in there. So if it does freeze, it'll expand. It won't be locked up.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right.
It does work.
Interesting. Does that still work with like gas water heaters and all that stuff?
It's the water line, so the water line doesn't freeze and explode. But
yeah, it's more for the water line than the heater itself, right?
All right, yeah. We just don't know about cold preparation down here.
And you know what? You're lucky for it.
Right.
Well, I mean, I make fun of everybody during the summer. I'm like, oh, really? Is it hot out there?
Yeah.
I can fry eggs outside on this.
Yeah, and that's why I don't live where you can fry eggs on the sidewalk. I live where you can you can throw boiling water out into the air and it turns to snow before it hits the ground.
I've seen that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we literally did that last winter when it got this cold.
I had this quick little game. We played it. Did we play it last time or the time before? I think it was last time, wasn't it?
we did a round of it last week with Ian and John, I think.
So I got this game
last time.
Got this game called Zero.
Okay.
And it's basically reverse Family Feud. So I'm going to ask you like name a Star Wars character, and it'll be like co-host Mike turn, and so he'll go first, and then Mike, and then Tim, and you're trying to get the least said one.
Nice.
You want to have the least point at the end of it. So the most rare, basically. So I have
a hipster trivia game. This was made for me.
What I'm going to do is on your turn, I'm going to give you two different random. I've got a bunch of them here. I'm just going to shuffle. I'm going to get two cards, give you two choices, and then everybody's got to give something on that list. Of course, you have to give something different than the person before you. And I'll keep track of the list here, or the points. We'll just do one round, see how you guys feel. All right, so start with Mike here. Mike, some of these are backwards. How weird. I shuffled wrong. That's funny. All right, Mike, your two are, one of them is one of the Flintstones, the Rubbles, or their main pets from the TV, the Flintstones characters, or a European country that begins with S. So
I picked the topic?
Yeah, you picked the topic between those two. Flintstones characters or a European country that begins with S. And you want to get the most rarely said.
Fuck.
And if you say something that's not even on the list, it's instant 10 points. The most rarely said is sometimes 0 points or 1 point, something like that. And they're all written on.
I'm going to go with Flintstones.
Okay. All right. So what's your pick? Who do you pick?
I'm going to say Bam Bam.
All right. Bam Bam's on there. It's worth 9 points. All right. So
really my favorite game.
I'm going to make you Mike 1, Mike 2. Sorry, Mike 2.
Oh, good. I'm used to it. I'm a junior.
There you go.
All right. Come on, Junior. What do you got?
All right.
But technically, I'm the second, so it actually works very well. Okay. I'll go with Dino.
Dino is strangely 8 points.
Get the fuck out. How is that possible?
I know.
Winning.
All right. I will tell you there is only one pick that's 0 points, and everybody else is 8, 9, or 10.
Whoa.
Nice.
I
how about
I take these every day. I take one every day.
How about the Grand Poobah?
Oh, that's
from the Loyal Order Water Buffalo.
There's no way that's on there, though, Tim.
It's not on here.
Hipster pick.
I'd go here. This was a good one. I forgot.
Not on there.
I was trying to think of.
Mr. Slate is also not on there.
Mr. Slate's good.
Wow.
Fred's boss.
Yeah, not on there. So Timmy got 10 points. So the one that was 0 was
Or
No, you-
I thought points are bad. Points are
If
good.
it's not, yeah, points are bad. So you got 10 points. 'Cause
Oh,
it's
they
not-
have to. I thought if they weren't on there, that was good.
No, if it's not on there, you
they're
get
not
10.
They have to be on there, but they have to be the least on there.
Right.
Oh, damn. Okay. I went too hipster. My bad.
So the one that's 0 is called Hoppy, the Rubble's pet.
Okay. I don't
Didn't even
remember.
know.
Hoppy.
I guess maybe that's the cat that fights.
Oh
Dino in
yeah,
the beginning
didn't
or
they have like a
something?
saber-toothed tiger as a pet or something?
Yeah, Betty Rubble was 8. Barney Rubble was 8 or 9.
Where's Pebbles
Yeah.
at?
Pebbles was 9. He was right on the second. She was the second one.
Sure.
So
Fred
there
had
was
to be the
one
top.
0, and the rest were 8 or above.
Yeah, Fred was 10.
Okay.
And then Pebbles, Wilma, Bam Bam, Barney were 9. And then Dino and Betty were 8. And then Hoppy was 0.
Okay, that was
Not a great spread. Bad
Wow.
pick, Mike.
whatever. Better than countries with S.
Yeah, that would
That'd have been tough.
All right.
Give me my
Mike
cartoon
two.
nostalgia over geology or geometry or
Geography.
geography.
Yeah, sciences with a G. That's our next category.
Mike 2.0. A song that Mary Poppins sings in Mary Poppins,
Ooh.
or an official Monty Python movie.
Good either way. Good either
We'll
way.
have to go with an official Monty Python movie.
Ooh, all right. You got a rare one for me? I'll tell you the point spread here. There's only
Yeah.
5 listed. The top one
I'm
is
not
7 points, 4 points, 2 points, 1.0 points.
Okay. I'm not incredibly versed here, but I can at least name some, whereas I don't have a whole lot of Mary Poppins songs for you. So I'll just go with The Life of Brian.
It's the one I
All right. The Life of Brian is the second one, but it's only 4 points.
Okay.
That's a good one.
That's the one. That's the one I was going with.
How about probably their least popular one? And now for something completely different.
That's a good one.
That is the second to last one. It's only 1 point.
Well done.
Good job.
Mhm.
What else did they do?
What are you going to say besides that one?
I could give you the other 3 that are on there, and you could pick between the only other 3 that I know that they've made. I'll give you these, Mike, and you just take a guess, okay? So
Well,
there's
the
Holy Grail,
which I'm not saying.
there's Meaning of Life,
Meaning of life.
and probably they count Live at the Hollywood Bowl. I'm guessing, could be wrong.
That one wouldn't even be on my radar, and I wouldn't pick the Holy Grail one because of obvious reasons.
That's got to be the most popular one.
I'd say the Meaning of life.
And that's the middle one for 2 points.
Okay.
I help you out.
Yeah, the Hollywood Bowl was 0 points.
Oh, see,
Well done. You should have picked that one. But I
should've.
mean, you got the 1 point one.
I went too far with the Flintstones, and I was worried that they wouldn't count that as one of them. But I barely watch Monty Python, so what do I know? Clearly.
All right. Here are your 2 categories. One of the 10 smallest countries in the world, or a ship in the board game Battleship.
Hmm.
Oh, God.
Is this my pick?
Yeah.
Do
Let's go
they list
Battleship.
the 4-pegger? Is that the official term?
I'll take the 3-pegger.
Let's go Battleship.
No, they had names.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
They had names.
Let's
Point
go
spreads between 6 to 0.
with the Destroyer.
Destroyer's on there. It's the third to last for 4 points.
I'll take it.
Mikey won.
Can name 5 of them. There's 6.
Yes.
Ugh.
Is there a cruiser?
There is, and
There
it's
is.
the second to
There
last
is.
for 3 points.
Whew.
Well done.
Pure guess.
I can't.
I was
imagine-
either going to pick the Cruiser or the Destroyer, but I couldn't decide which one.
I can't imagine anybody will get the 0.
Is it the 2-pegger?
Okay, so I think the one most people are going to pick is the aircraft carrier.
You don't think they would take the title of the game?
I don't.
You have sunk my battleship. Don't that too?
Well, I know there's a submarine as well. I'll just stick to the aircraft carrier.
All right, both the aircraft carrier and submarine were 5 points, so
Okay.
you're good either way. But you got 5 points, which was the second one. Of course, the battleship was the first one. The one that nobody can ever remember is called the patrol boat.
The patrol
tiny
boat.
one.
I almost
Okay.
called it a pontoon boat.
Oh, look at that! Yeah,
A little John boat.
Very
PT
close
boat.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that would have counted. If somebody would have said PT boat, I'd been like, my boats, give it to him.
All right. Do you want another round, or you want to total them up and see who wins?
Well, let's do
No.
one more round. That was
Yeah,
fun.
One more round. All right. All right, Mikey 1. Your choices are. I'm just gonna always call you Mikey 1.
Great.
A lyrical song in the Disney movie The Lion King,
Oh,
or a scoring category in the bottom section of your. Oh, we did that one last time. Hold on. Throw that one out. Instead, you get. Oh, we got that one last time too. I didn't pull those out.
You are not good at shuffling.
Jeez. That's the James Bond one we had last time. Nope, that's the cornbread one we had last time. Hold on. Let me just get through some of these. Oh, jeez. Okay.
What was the James Bond one?
Other side of the deck.
Name a James Bond actor.
Oh,
Okay. Or so it was either a lyrical song in the Disney movie The Lion King, 1994, or one of the 10 highest grossing movies of the 1970s worldwide. Those are tough.
nice.
Oh.
I love this category. I
Those are
love
tough.
this.
The 70s?
Yeah. If it was 80s, it'd be a lot easier.
You could
Well, I
name
don't know if it would
you
be.
could name the number one. You literally should be able to name the number one.
Yeah, I'm not getting myself 10 points.
It's only 9 points.
Or lyrical songs from Lion King.
That one's also pretty fucking sucky.
I've seen every single one.
I'm trying to go
That
through
one's pretty
70s
rough.
movies that would have, like, even beyond the list. And I'm blanking.
How many are on here?
How many are listed?
Yeah.
10. It's one of the 10 highest
Oh, one of
grossing
the 10.
movies. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
It's in the question.
Shut
And
up.
the point spread is 9 to 0 points. The
Mhm.
bottom 3 are all 0 points. That's interesting. What do you want? No,
Man.
you want this. You know, you got some Lion King songs in you.
I do, but I can't think of the one that I can't. I'm not saying it.
Which one are you going?
Lion King.
Really? Okay.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so hold on.
We'll look back on the card in a minute. We'll go
Let-
back to that card.
I would have guessed some of the ones on the 70s movies when we're done
We'll
with
get
this.
back to that. After.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what is your Lion King song?
I really thought I'd be able to figure out the song by now. I'm going through it in my head and I can't.
Don't you dare take mine. Don't you take mine.
I really, it's like right there.
You got booed for your pick.
I couldn't do the 70s. I couldn't come up with anything.
When you hear them, you're gonna be like, "Oh my god!" Of course.
I know, obviously, but I'm not giving myself 9 points. I'd rather. Fuck me. All right, Can You Feel the Love?
That's only 3 points. It's in the middle. It's the third
Nice
one.
work.
Good,
Great
good.
pick.
Is
Great
that the
pick.
one you were trying to think of?
No.
Okay, well we'll see. We'll see what else. All right.
All right. Well, since Mike stole mine, then I have to take Hakuna Matata and lose because I don't know any others.
That's the top
Yeah,
one. That's
Kabuki,
6
these
points.
these are great. These are fantastic.
Hey, I'm not looking
Blank
at them
on-
because I want to
Blanked on
guess.
every one of them.
Yeah, don't pop them up yet. Let them
I don't-
guess.
I don't
I've
look at
got
them.
a guess, and I want to try to beat Tim.
Tim,
Hakuna Matata is only 6 points, so not too bad.
The best song in the movie, Be Prepared.
Oh my
The
god, it's
Star
only
song,
1
yeah.
point.
that's the one I was thinking of.
I was like,
That's
somebody's
always-
going to steal it from me.
It's only 1 point. Well,
that's a
done.
good
Star
one.
song is the one in my head, and I got Jeremy Irons singing it, and I couldn't come up with it.
Oh, it's so good.
There was also Circle of Life, and I Just Can't Wait to Be King.
Just can't wait to be king.
All right, so a lot of these have been mentioned in the chat. Some of them they've missed though, but everybody can guess what the number one is. I imagine. Right? 1977. Yeah. Star Wars.
Tim, if you looked in the chat, I want to try to beat Tim. I got a good
I've not
guess.
looked at the
That's so
chat at all.
clever.
I've not looked at the chat at all.
All right, so if either one of you has looked at the chat, name the one that you would do. This isn't for real points, but it's just for fun.
My pick was going to be Smokey and the Bandit.
I believe
Not
that's
on
an
there.
80s movie. That's an 80s movie, Mike.
What? No, it's not.
Not
Yeah, it
on
is.
there. I think it came out in 80.
Smokey and the Bandits in the 80s. I'd bet money on it.
Is
And
it?
I know you like to gamble. You want to bet?
It could be 79 or something like that, but it's not on the list. I can tell you that.
So it's 10 points for Mike. So I could say anything, but I'll say The Godfather. How about The Godfather?
Yeah, that's the second one. So it's 7 points.
Yeah, so I'm still safe.
But the other ones on here?
So Jaws
Jaws
has
is
got to
the
be
third
on
one?
there. Let's see. Is the French Connection on there?
It's not. Strangely
Okay.
not.
Smokey and
I'm
the
trying to
Bandit
think
was
of like,
77.
oh,
77,
damn.
really? Yeah, but it's not on. It must be number 11 or 12. Yeah.
Didn't make enough money.
one's
Let's see.
Star Wars.
Exorcist.
Yeah, that's one of the bottom ones for 0 points.
Oh, nice.
73.
Nice.
Jaws 2 made 0 point.
Yeah, that should have made that got it deserves 0
Superman
points.
78.
Superman's incredible. Richard Donner, great movie.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Kabuki had a bunch of these.
What about Grease?
Grease, yes, that's number 4. Saturday Night Fever is number 5.
Oh yeah, yeah. Was the
String that-
conversation on there? No.
Yep. Mm-mm. That's all of them.
Oh, I guess it's ones that people are gonna
sorry,
name.
There's one more on here I would not have thought. Moonraker,
Oh yeah.
Wow.
79. I could have sworn that would be in the 80s. The 80, 81 kind of thing.
I mean, that was getting close to the end of Roger Moore, right? So
I thought it was like one
Middle.
of his first, wasn't it?
no, his Roger Moore started in the early 70s, I thought.
Yeah.
And then went to When Did a View to a Kill come out? 86, 85?
I mean, it's Bond, so it's got to be big.
Yeah, Bond movies make a ton of money.
It was also a huge budget for what they were doing because they were
Yeah.
making the whole moon base thing. It was one of the most ridiculous ones. Though.
It was, but it had my favorite gadget, which was the watch that shot darts when he would like move his wrist. Like I love that thing. You know, Jaws was dumb. Like Jaws, Richard Keel, the guy Jaws, like that character was silly. But
All right, number 2. You got a Steven Spielberg movie nominated for Best Picture or Best Director, Oscar, or one of the 7 main characters on the original Star Trek show. I know which
Are
one.
we talking? Are we talking season 1, or are we talking like through original series all the way through? Because there's a trick. There's a trick in season 1.
Yeah, it just says original Star Trek TV show.
Okay, yeah, that's everybody then.
I would assume it does all 3.
Yeah,
I'll take Spielberg.
Spielberg, boo.
that covers everybody in Wrath of Khan, even though Khan technically never saw him. But I never
Right.
forget the face.
Right. It's like, but you never saw me.
Yeah.
All right. So Steven Spielberg movies nominated for Best Picture or Best Director Oscar. Go.
I'll go with Schindler's List.
That is number 2 for 5 points. Not too bad for number 2.
How about The Color Purple?
Ooh, good choice. 0 points.
Why would you pick a movie thing with Tim, Mike?
Because I don't know anything about Star Trek either.
The bottom 3 have 0 points. So there's one.
I was going to lose either category.
Pick a fun one.
E.T.
That's a good one.
Well, I meant another fun one, but sure, that's 7 points.
Great.
That's the top one.
Awesome.
Schindler's List was number 2, though.
That was my first pick. That's a great.
So Close Encounters of the Third Kind is what we just talked about.
Right.
It's only 2 points.
God,
And that's the third one. Saving Private Ryan was only 2 points.
Wow.
Raiders of the Lost Ark was only 1 point. That's the fun one.
Man, that is my favorite Spielberg movie.
And then Letters from Iwo Jima and Munich.
Oh,
were
wow.
zeros. Were also zeros.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, letters of, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
All right. And then finally, your last 2 are one of the 5 Great Lakes. Seems kind of unfair since all of you are up there, right?
I live 20,
Or-
less than an hour from one.
A movie from the 1990s that won Best Picture Oscar.
Let's go movies.
Yeah.
From the 90s that won Best Picture. Ooh, wait a minute. Did that win Best Picture? I think it did. I'm pretty sure it did.
Get it wrong. Get
I've seen
it
every
wrong.
single one of these.
Get it
Let's go.
wrong.
Let's go with Silence of the Lambs.
Yep. The only horror movie to get the
That's
Best
what I
Picture
thought.
Oscar. Yep.
That's what I thought.
For 1 point. There are 4 of these
Getting
that have
$10
0
money.
points. 4 of these have 0 points, though.
Hey,
What you got,
so
Mike? Name a great movie from the 90s.
You already did. You could name another. You could name it again. You literally just said it.
No, I'm not going to. I'll take Braveheart.
It's a good one.
Oh, I love Braveheart.
You're taking Braveheart
Yep.
for 0 points.
My wife and I
Good.
dated in high school, and then we didn't see each other for a bunch of years, and then we got back together and actually got married. One of our very first dates was going to see Braveheart in the theaters. Love that
You
movie.
skipped Googs, though, so what you going to say?
I wasn't gonna say Braveheart.
That's good.
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction lost to Forrest Gump in 1994.
Pulp Fiction did not win.
I was so like, I don't know which one should win.
Because Tarantino didn't get the Oscar until, did he get for the Hollywood?
Once
the
Upon
most
a Time in
recent one?
Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Not
Did he win
sure.
for that? Because I don't think he won an Oscar up until,
If he'd come out with Pulp Fiction in any other year, he would have won it.
no doubt.
Forrest Gump.
No doubt. Robert Zemeckis.
So did Shawshank that same year. 94 is an
Ah.
amazing year for movies.
Mhm.
I'm thinking.
So yeah, the other ones are Titanic. It's number 1. Forrest Gump, Dances with Wolves,
There you go.
Schindler's List, Silence of the Lambs, Unforgiven,
Oh, that's an awesome
the
movie.
best Western ever,
Yeah.
American Beauty,
Good.
Braveheart, The English Patient, which Kabuki had
Eh.
in there for 0 points. I think Kabuki probably won this game. Shakespeare in Love. It's the one I always forget about because it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
feel like a Oscar winner. It's still a great movie, but it just doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, no, but it just doesn't. It's more Shakespeare in Love always felt more like a popcorn kind of movie to me, and not like how
Right.
does how do you categorize like The English Patient, which I don't like,
Agreed.
but it's like Oscar bait, and then you got Shakespeare in Love, which feels like a completely different kind of movie, and that also wins. But whatever.
All right, so Mike Rice. Remember, you want the lowest amount of points. You have 28 points. Mike number 1 has 24, but Tim has 17 because too many movie questions, obviously.
Yeah, wait, you totally rigged.
And 10 of those were on the first question because I went too hard. The funny thing is, 17 is my number whenever I play sports. That's my jersey number. So it's meant to be.
There you go.
Wait, you got 10 on question number 1 and you ended with 17 total. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, after the 10, he got 1, 4, 1, 0, 1.
So notice, I just want to point out, we didn't see the cards drawn from Chris. They were all off screen. Then he went through half the deck. He's like, no, we had that one already. No, we had that. All right, Tim, here you go. Here are
Tim,
these
check's in the
cards.
mail, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I got
Venmo?
I might have gotten Chris's Venmo info before the game.
Unreal.
Yeah, I know there's so many that aren't movies, like A Planet in Our Solar System One of the largest states in the U.S.
Yeah, now they're right there, right at the top of
One
the
of
deck,
the
aren't
12
they?
Olympian gods or goddesses in
Oh,
Greek
sorry,
mythology.
guys. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we
Sorry,
skipped over
guys.
the geography stuff.
A New York City borough.
Yeah.
You guys don't know anything about New York, right?
I mean, there's 5 of
Some
them.
boroughs.
I would say Staten Island. That's got to be the lowest.
It is. It is. One of the 9 members of the Fellowship of the
Staten
Ring.
Island. I just knowing what they are. Staten Island is the one that gets shit on, so I'm sure.
One of the 9 members of the Fellowship
it's the
of the
redheaded
Ring.
stepchild.
Oh,
Nice.
That's another movie one. An
Yeah,
actor from The Breakfast Club. Oh, yeah. There's some TV ones in here too. A member of the Munsters family.
Well, stop, because these two are
All
going to go and Google it. So next time
Yeah.
they'll have all the monsters ready to go.
All right, yeah.
I got them all anyways. Eddie, Lily, Grandpa, Herman. I mean, come on. What do you want?
No,
I did
Different
just
categories.
no entertainment questions for Tim.
There's a reason I get invited to trivia for whenever it's like TV and movies or music.
Jesus.
There's a reason. I'm the ringer.
Yeah, I see that.
You got to be good at one thing in life. I don't win. I don't win board games a lot when I play them. Trivia.
That's it. That's your claim to fame.
That's
the
it.
thing you win at.
That's it. Trivia. It's the thing I win at. And I get real salty. That's the one thing also that I get real competitive with too.
He drinks
board
and he
games.
knows things.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm short. I'm a dwarf. My eyes are both the same color, so that didn't work. But everything else is pretty good.
So Tyrion, got it.
And somebody's gonna hit me in the face with an axe, in the second season, so it'll work out.
Are you good with a crossbow?
I can't. Only if you're sitting on a toilet.
With her
Yeah,
on the
if you're
toilet.
on a shit or not moving.
Shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All right. So that's a nice
was
fun
awesome.
game.
That was
Throw
fun.
people away. That's great. Went too late. So that's how you know you went too late when the numbers started going down.
Yeah.
But we had
Kabuki,
fun.
man. I think Kabuki could have given you a run for your money.
Kabuki would have kicked my
He was
ass. I
coming
will.
up with
I will.
amazing stuff. Yeah.
What I want to do is get me and Kabuki on a team, and then we just don't even let anybody else answer.
Oh, it's like take over a casino like Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish this game would come out with another group of cards and stuff, because I played this game enough to where I've been through every set, the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Because my family like playing it and stuff. Real easy.
It's
to
called
get into.
Zero.
Yeah, it's called Zero. I think it's got a little thing, but aim low, score high. Yeah.
I'll have to get this game.
You know
My
what you
family
can do?
would like it.
You can make up your own.
You
It's
could.
infinite.
Well, the reason why I was saying that is because I can, because the category is here. So I could play if I wanted to and then turn it over and see.
Mhm.
But since I've already seen them all, that doesn't seem very fair. Right?
Tim's
Even though
going to
I
buy it
would
and be an
remember, but
excellent ambassador of the hobby by crushing his family in this game.
Yeah.
No, I will moderate and then giggle when they get it wrong and taunt
Well,
them.
of course, because it's a live show, we're playing it differently. There's a board for it where everybody's supposed to play, and the person to your right says the question. But that's why you can read the question but not look at the answers until everybody's said. So
I was the guy in the 90s and early 2000s when CNET first came out, where it's like, okay, everybody versus Tim, let's do this.
You're that guy.
I was that guy.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's not fair. You put Tim on your team. Like, fine, everybody versus me. Let's go. Loser buys beer.
nice. Well, it was fun. Good list. I wrote down a whole bunch of games that now I got to spend money on because of you guys.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say thank you guys again for asking us to be on. It's awesome. It's always a good time. I stay up way too late, and I don't regret it one bit because I just love hanging out with you guys. It's super fun.
Anytime.
Yeah.
As somebody that watched the show before we started streaming, it's still an honor to come on the show.
Absolutely.
So far. But we'll
So
get you
far.
on a couple more times. You'll be like, oh, this again. You'll get tired of it.
Doubt it, but we'll try. I challenge you. I challenge you to make us tired of
So
it.
that's the challenge for 2024. Get you sick of being on the show.
Yeah. Get us
I
sick.
mean, Mike's
of
sick of me. I mean, it only takes like
Cougs and
3
Chris.
years.
Well, let's
2
just keep
years?
doing movie trivia. I'll get sick of it pretty quick.
Yeah, real quick. Yep.
I literally went and bought a sports trivia game just so I could ask Mike sports trivia questions on our show at the end, because I'd ask him other trivia questions and it did not go well.
No, there's other stuff, just not movies.
And see, movies is my main thing as well. Sports is my kryptonite. Every time I would play Trivia Pursuit, I would like dodge that orange as much as possible because I don't know anything. Every now and then they'd have some kind of board game or chess thing or something. I'd be like, yes, I get the chip, but that is, random.
Right. Or it's actually like, what sport did they play in Star Trek? And you're like, oh, I got it.
Which one?
Well, let's say original series, so it technically wouldn't be a sport, but you could play it competitively in tournaments, and that would be what,
3D
three-dimensional chess? Yeah, 3D chess. So you already knew. You had it before I even finished.
Yeah, I don't know if you're talking about the one that Riker played with his dad that had the bow staff thing. I can't remember what it's called right now.
Right. Riker's dad's a dick.
Speaking of Riker, and this is totally random, and I only saw like a little behind the scenes of the new show where they have young Riker or something, and the actor was talking about doing the Riker when he goes to sit down.
Oh, that's not young Riker, but it's another character from the future who knows all about Riker.
Okay.
He's played by Jack Quaid, Dennis Quaid's son. Yeah.
I love Jack Quaid.
He's hilarious.
I watched that little thing with the Riker actor and the new guy and how they were talking about whatever.
Yeah.
Luca's got a desk and a chair. He calls it the Luca seat. And the first time he tried to sit on it, I swear, he swung his right leg over and sat down, and I couldn't get the phone quick enough. I'm like, Chris would have loved seeing this.
That's funny.
I'm going to try and get it because he does it almost every time he goes to sit on it. But he
Now,
swings that right leg right over the seat. It's hysterical.
you better be ready, because that means Luca is likely to bed every alien that he encounters across the universe.
Fantastic. I mean, if you got to be good at something.
Hey. We were literally just talking about this in the studio because the owner of the game store we film at is a Trek fan, and we were talking about Riker being sort of a ladies' man, and I was like, it's like Jonathan Frakes saw William Shatner in the original series and goes, "Hold my beer," like just.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I love that he did the leg sweep. That's so good.
I'll get it. I'm on a mission.
That's good. All right. Well, next week we have Aldi from BGG coming on, and we're gonna do some. What are we doing with him? Trivia kind of stuff as well. Probably.
We'll play CDSK at some point, I'm sure. But I'm letting him pick the top 5 topic. So as soon as I know what it is, we'll know. But it's up to him. So.
Yeah, who doesn't, Kabuki? Yeah. So, and that'll be our 150th episode and the last episode of our 3rd season. See, I know all this stuff.
You got it. Yeah, it's like
awesome.
You know what you're doing.
It's crazy.
It's awesome. Well,
all
congratulations
right, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out.
Yes.
All that stuff.
Ooh, that's a new one.
Is that a new one?
That's a new one.
God.
And do the 2 one.
Oh wait, this is the horns.
That's funny.
Have my own rave. Wait, 2 2s does something, right? Didn't it?
I thought it was just. Oh, I hadn't seen that one.
Yeah.
I thought the just 1 2 was balloons or something. We have no idea why this happened.
What in the
I
world?
don't know. I love how over it Googs is. It's
I don't
just
know
like,
how you're doing it.
I'm basically the Gandalf of the internet. I don't know what that means.
Can you put that on your thing underneath your name?
Yeah, next time I'll put that.
Doesn't need pie though.
Oh my god. Yeah,
all
guys, it's great hanging out with you, seeing you guys again.
Awesome.
Always a blast.
Very
I'll
fun.
see you soon, I'm sure.
Yep. Tune into Board Game Rundown Whiskey Wednesday on Wednesday, 8 o'clock. We're going to have Andrew Styles. It's going to be awesome. And then at the end of the month, 2 weeks in a row, we're going to have Seppi on. And if you don't know Seppi, you should just tune in just to get to know him because that dude is hilarious. And if that show doesn't get me canceled, nothing will. Because Seppi and I go off the rails. He's so funny. I can't wait.
Back-to-back episodes are going to be pretty epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, links to their channels in the description. Go there, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Like and subscribe this crap too.
Yeah. Give the video a thumbs up.
Thanks everybody. Bye.
Peace out.
See ya.
Later.